Keiko Hoshino will be on the air. He'll be speaking about the new book called Miraculous Ways to Conquer Cancer, written by Ryuho Okawa.
And then Matt Gibbs will be here from Sunrise Automotive answering your questions about your cars on auto repair with personal care.
Patricia Skalka is a staff writer at Reader's Digest. She's written a new book called Death at Gills Rock.
And then pharmacist and nutritionist James Laval will be on. He wants to talk to us about some research that indicates that it's not physical inactivity that's making us get fat. It's sugar and carbohydrates. All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offered at an include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services. When your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements, from damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
What are the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking? Will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is Southern Pigskin Tonight with host Buddy Martin on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to Southern Pigskin Tonight, the show where we talk football all the time, no matter the season, because that's the way we roll, hashtag down here. I'm Buddy Martin, along with Tom Schmitz here in the southernmost region of the Southern Pigskin Radio Network, our WOCA studios in beautiful Ocala. Luckily for you, we have a lot more qualified folks to talk football than just Tom and I.
Hey, speak for yourself there, pal.
Okay. Luckily, we have a lot more people qualified to talk about football than Tom.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. In fact, our show this week features some big-time names. As always, the entertaining and loquacious Terry Bradshaw will be along later. He'll be talking more about NFL quarterbacks and what Adrian Peterson's return will mean to offensive coordinator Norv Turner and the Vikings, not to mention Teddy Bridgewater.
Buddy, I thought Terry was busy packing his bags for Asia in that NBC reality show with Captain Kirk, William Shatner, the Fonz, Henry Winkler, and, you know, that hamburger grilling guy, George Foreman.
You know, when you say it flippantly like that, it almost sounds fabricated, but it's true. He is doing exactly that.
Buddy, I understand we'll also be getting a transatlantic call from Terry in August from over there someplace, maybe the Great Wall of China, somewhere.
True also. Can you imagine how tough it will be to find Terry in Asia, considering sometimes we can't even find him in Oklahoma or Hawaii or California? By the way, what's the difference in the time between here and Asia?
Well, buddy, being that I'm an intelligent guy, I happen to have Beijing time in my brain.
Questionable.
Exactly, 12 hours.
I'll tell you where there is no time difference between here and Columbus, Ohio. Same as ours. Although some people might suggest that Urban Meyer has turned back the clock to the dynasty days at Ohio State, where the Buckeyes are a favorite to win the national championship again this year. We'll be talking to Coach Meyer in just a minute. On today's show, we'll also be joined by one of the SEC's veteran observers and writers, John Adams of the Knoxville News Sentinel, to talk about the league's balance of power. And we'll get into a word about the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay in Washington with one of the best golf writers in the world, Ron Sirek of Golf World Golf Digest. Right now, let's head up I-95 and talk with our pals from 3 and Out. As a matter of fact, they've got something to say about the disparity between the SEC West and SEC East. Host Kevin Thomas and SouthernPigskin.com publisher BJ Bennett will join us. Kevin, BJ, and Matt Osborne are heard weekdays on 790 AM and 103.7 FM in Brunswick, 1400 AM and 104.3 FM in Savannah Hilton Head, and 1350 in Blackshear Waycross. Kevin, is the balance in power going to be as lopsided this year as it has been in the past?
Thanks so much, buddy. Good to have you back here with us on Southern Pigskin tonight. And we are obviously in the preseason prognostication stage, BJ, but you look at one thing, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, where you could say, Dak Prescott, probably hands down the best quarterback in the league, and his team could be picked to finish last. And everybody says, look at what it says about the SEC West. What in your mind are some of the factors that kind of have come into play to throw things so out of kilter? Because you've seen it before, where the SEC East would have a couple of teams at the top, SEC West would have a couple of teams at the top, but in recent memory, it's been 4 or 5 teams from the West inside the top 15, and maybe Georgia, maybe South Carolina, but certainly the majority of the Eastern Division has not been as good.
Well, I think some of it is a little bit cyclical. Sports in nature, whether you're talking about leagues, teams, have ups, have downs, etc. But part of it might just be the chase of trying to get to where Alabama is, where Auburn is. You had a couple of year span there where it was Alabama, it was Auburn playing for the national championship every season. And when you have those programs kind of setting the bar, everybody else has to adjust or else, whether that means we're going to pay our coaches more, we're going to invest more in facilities, we're going to build up our infrastructure, etc. When Alabama and Auburn are in the national championship mix every single year, if you're Arkansas, if you're Texas A&M, if you're Mississippi State, etc., you got to keep up. That's the status quo. And I think out in the East, you've kind of struggled to have a legitimate national title contender come up the last couple of years, and because of that, you haven't had necessarily that same bar to meet. So I think when everybody's chasing the national championship, your more immediate peers kind of force you to get on their level, so to speak. And I think that's a little bit of what we've seen.
Well, in my opinion, the West has the sexy cool. You got Nick Saban, he's cool. Les Miles. You've got Kevin Sumlin, who happened to come in with, by the way, Johnny Manziel, who had the star power and the pizzazz. And as you said, teams that are going out there could be. I think you look at the East fall, and you can look at it a couple of different ways. The East kind of started to take a tumble in a couple of ways. One, when Tennessee fired Phil Fulmer, and Tennessee has spent a decade trying to find his replacement, and in the meantime has toiled around a 500 or less ball club. Florida took a big step back when Urban Meyer left, and they've now been trying to figure out how to stay consistent there.
I think some of that's understandable. You lost 2 of the greatest coaches in college football history in a handful of years, Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer. I mean, that's not something that it is easy to kind of just keep on keeping on from.
Meanwhile, Steve Spurrier goes to the South Carolina. They were on the long build. They had some success the last 3 years. Maybe some of that due in part as well to Tennessee and Florida struggling, but South Carolina for Spurrier has been kind of the long build there. Georgia has certainly been the most consistent. Missouri has come in and not been flashy, but figured out a way to get in there. Kentucky's been a rebuild project, and Vanderbilt, James Franklin kind of came up, and you thought, okay, Vanderbilt, and then he leaves and Vanderbilt falls off the table. So I think there's been so much more instability, inconsistency in the West. Auburn, they go out and get the best possible coach they could get in Gus Malzahn. Was a great coordinator. He leaves, and then Auburn falls off the map. They bring him back, and all of a sudden the offense is working again. You got Saban. You got Les Miles. You got Kevin Sumlin, who had star power at quarterback. Hugh Freeze comes in and has all of a sudden started getting great recruiting classes at Ole Miss, and they've become an interesting story. And, Dan Mullen with Dak Prescott was a nice story a year ago. So, I mean, I think a lot of your points you made earlier certainly valid, that a lot of what I like to call it, the sexy cool factor is all out in the West.
And you bring Bielema over to Arkansas, which has been a struggling program after he was, with Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl. So you're going out, you're getting elite coaches. Auburn just brought Will Muschamp in as their defensive coordinator. So a number of factors. I think it'll ultimately even out, but right now the SEC West is leading the way, no doubt.
And it'll be that way again. I mean, when you look at the top 25 poll in the East, how many teams preseason, quickly, you got 10 seconds, will be there? 3, maybe 2?
Georgia definitely, South Carolina probably, Missouri and Tennessee. Missouri probably, Tennessee maybe. I'll say 3 with an absolute max of 4.
And it's going to be interesting when those polls finally come out. That's going to do it for us here on Southern Pigskin tonight. Back to you, buddy, all across the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
All right, thanks, Kevin. There was a time when the key game in the SEC every season was the third weekend of the year, Florida, Tennessee. Anymore, the Vols and Gators won't be the best game of most weekends. So what happened? You heard what the guys from 3 and Out had to say. We asked John Adams of the Knoxville News-Sentinel what he thought about it.
It's a matter of coaching hires. I think you throw Missouri into the mix, and yeah, it's done better than you thought it would have. I think most people that follow the SEC, like we do, wouldn't have expected this from Missouri. But it's not winning a division that's like the SEC East used to be, or what we think of it should be. I'm not sure Missouri, and does a good job of developing players. I'm not sure Missouri is going to recruit well enough to stay up there. Now, maybe they'll prove me wrong. They proved me wrong before, but I just wonder about that long term, how well it can do. But I think Florida and South Carolina, I still see them with way too many holes this season. I think when I think of this Florida team, and when I look at that depth chart, I think back to Charlie Bell's first year.
Yeah,
they
didn't win a game. They didn't win a single game that year. So.
I know. Yeah. I remember he had a couple of good defensive linemen, but and I think Florida has a nice secondary and some good pass rushers and an okay defense, but offense is a mess.
Yeah, he did have Scott Brantley, by the way, just so everybody remembers. Looking at this West, I mean, there's no easy out anywhere. You look at the last place team, who was 7-6. Arkansas now a team that a lot of people think are on the way back. That could be even up in the middle of the pack in this West. Where last year we have 4 of them in the top 5 of the rankings in the country from the SEC West, right?
Yeah, I mean, you go back and look at last year, buddy. What a strange year it was to think at one point when you talk about a potential playoff team or a potential national champion that you could mention both Mississippi schools.
Right.
That's unheard of in SEC history. The fact that both of those programs at some point in the year looked like one of the best teams in the country. And I think now when you look at that division, you can make a case. I asked Hugh Freeze about this at the spring meetings, and he thinks, well, I really think all 7 teams in the West should be top 25. But they won't be because they'll beat each other up. And I don't think that's a far-fetched assessment.
I agree with it. I agree with that, exactly. And you look at, Arkansas down at the bottom, and then up from there is Texas A&M. Texas A&M looked like they were all-world against South Carolina. How long can LSU be down? You know, Auburn looks like it could be competing for a national championship. You mentioned the 2 Mississippi schools in the all-time greatest Egg Bowl ever played, and then there's Alabama. So there's just not an easy out there, anybody in the West.
No, and when you look at that schedule, buddy, I think a lot of it's going to depend, when you look at the schedule, is how those teams are lined up. I think Arkansas is going to be a very difficult team to play. It's going to make for an exhausting Saturday, even though that team struggled at times last year, and even though it still only went 7-6. Man, you talk about a tough out, and it had several games in there, Alabama in particular, that it easily could have won. I think at that point, it just didn't think it was good enough to win that kind of game. Now I think it believes in itself, and I think Arkansas has as good a chance on most Saturdays of beating other teams in the West. You think of Mississippi State, because of all its losses, I think would be perhaps the 7th team you would think of in preseason. And A&M, because of its huge issues on defense, would be probably 6th. But man, if you put those teams in the East, they might be contending for a championship.
There's still some really good players. And, of course, the quarterback and the coach make an awful lot of difference. But one guy I think could be the player of the year, is the reason this team is going to be in competition in Georgia, is Nick Chubb. Give the ball to Chubb and stand back.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen a greater transition. When Georgia last season, I thought Todd Gurley was one of the best running backs ever in the SEC of all the years I've watched it. He's definitely top 10, maybe top 5. Well, he goes out on a suspension and then an injury, and what do? They give the ball to Nick Chubb.
Yeah, really.
And I put him in the same category.
Yeah, buddy. I agree with you.
One of the best running backs. And don't forget about Sonny Michel.
Exactly.
The other freshman on that team. You know, going into last season, you looked at Chubb and said he was considered a little bit more the power guy. Michel's a little bit more the speed guy. Both of them are strong and fast. And if those guys stay healthy all year long, I don't know how good Georgia has to be at quarterback.
Thanks, John Adams, the head coach of the National Championship Buckeyes. Coming up next, as Urban Meyer joins us on Southern Pigskin Tonight.
Back with more Southern Pigskin Tonight in a moment on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
Man has long dreamed of turning lead into gold. We dreamed of turning gold into platinum. Bud Light Platinum in a sleek cobalt blue bottle, triple filtered, smooth finish, top shelf taste. Make it platinum. Bud Light Platinum. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Platinum Lager, ale in Texas and Oregon. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz.
Hi, I'm State Farm agent Angie Lewis. Come see me and my team for all your insurance and financial needs in the beautiful downtown historic district, 416 East Fort King Street, or call 291-2444.
Do you remember when summer was a celebration? You know, no schools, no worries, just days packed with your favorite pastime. It was the splendid season you dreamed of all year long. But as you got older and busier, the summer seemed to lose its sparkle. Where did those carefree days go? Well, they're closer than you think. Summer's still sensational at Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club, where you can come out and play the grown-up way with our affordable summer memberships. Enjoy our championship golf course celebrating the game's greatest holes, hard-true tennis courts, and a state-of-the-art fitness center. Explore our stately 77,000-square-foot clubhouse and unwind at our relaxing spa.
Don't forget the pool!
It's a summer unlike any other, and it's yours with a Golden Ocala summer membership. You can call Golden Ocala at 629-6229 to inquire about a summer membership, or you can visit goldenocala.com to learn more. That's goldenocala.com.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Now back to more Southern Pigskin Tonight with your host, Buddy Martin, on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
My pleasure now to welcome to the program the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes, Urban Meyer. I just sort of want to start out in a relaxed way, asking you about your friend Steve Spurrier. I thought about you last weekend when I was at the Ray Graves Memorial, and he talked about how he was able to keep Coach Graves in the program and often usually gave him a ring for the SEC championship. And then he said, and Urban Meyer kept it going, and he gave Coach Graves a ring.
Yeah, well, it was when I first was hired, Jeremy had me call, gave me a couple phone numbers. Steve Spurrier was obviously one of them, and Ray Graves was another. Ray Graves and I became very good friends. We had him up very often, him and his lovely wife, and and his family, and we became pretty good friends as well. But Steve and that's one of the reasons why I went to Florida, is I became a huge fan of the Florida Gators. Everyone was. It was a time when, people maybe dislike Spurrier or dislike Florida. That's out of respect because of the way they played. And so we've been very good friends and have become very close over the last couple of years.
I know for a fact you guys exchange phone calls, because I've talked to Steve several times and said, yeah, Coach, I called Urban. I was on my boat and I called Urban to talk about a few things. So you guys have regular conversations, and I'm sure he was probably, knowing Spurrier, he was shopping for a quarterback in case you had an extra one. Urban, it's the obvious question, and you get asked everywhere you go about this, and you got more good quarterbacks than most conferences do. Obviously, people know the story now about Cardale Jones, Braxton Miller, J.T. Barrett, and you get asked probably every day, update us on the status of this situation. And, what we're hearing about Braxton Miller, he will stay at Ohio State. He is going to play. And I think you said in your last interview he will take some snaps at quarterback. Is that correct?
Well, he's still the biggest thing that Braxton's going through right now is just getting healthy. He's not 100% yet. Throwing the ball, he's getting closer and closer. And we're just trying to get him as healthy as he can be. He's on schedule. He's very close to being full speed. So that's the biggest thing that we're trying to do now. Everything's all good. All three kids are very invested in our program, all very talented, all won big games. I think people forget how good Braxton was because the other two did so well. But all three are here. The only negative about the whole situation is that, not all three can play at once.
You haven't invented that offense yet, huh? Where you can put them all three on the field at one time?
Well, we'll try that. I have been playing around with that. I imagine we'll try to do that a little bit, but it's hard to run an offense.
Of course. Well, we want to talk about your defense, too, because a large part of what you're so successful last year in winning the national championship, what a run you had there in the postseason. I mean, that was, as we talked about last time, everybody said one of the great coaching jobs. Your defense was really terrific. And the nucleus of that defense is coming back.
A bunch of them are coming back. Our Luke Pickle, our co-coordinator Chris Ash, who was an impact hire and did a wonderful job with our pass defense. A good majority of those guys are back. And when you think and really evaluate what happened in those last three games, Wisconsin against the Heisman Trophy candidate, Melvin Gordon against Amari Cooper, obviously the best receiver in America last year at Alabama. And that was after a couple turnovers in offense. And then I thought, what they did against Oregon, one of the best offenses in college football history, with us turning the ball over 4 times, it was one of the best 3-game stretches I've ever seen a defense play. So we're proud to have most of those guys back, excited, because I think we can be better next year.
I want to think how to ask this question. Going back to, let's say, the first national championship when you played Ohio State and beat Ohio State, was heavily favored in that game. A lot of people were surprised because you so dominated Ohio State then. Now, my question to you is, when you think back about what you accomplished in that postseason run, those big wins, Alabama, of course, Oregon, national championship game, you think about it, do you ever shake your head and say to yourself, wow?
I did after that. I really did. I didn't. It was almost illogical that happened with this year's team, with the way the quarterback situation broke down, the fact that we lost so many starters from the year before. But then now that I've been around them, it is a wow. But it was one of the closest teams I've ever been around. It was very similar to the 06 team, where that 06 team, if you remember, they got better and better. We kept playing that team. By the time we played Ohio State, without a doubt, that was the best team in America. But middle of the season, we were not. So it's fun to coach those teams to just get better throughout the season.
That's a good point. And I think I texted you in the middle of the year saying it reminds me of 06. I want to ask this question. You have one of your secrets and your strengths is you have the ability to get your players ready for the end of the season. They seem like they're refreshed. You seem to always have somebody that steps out of the shadows that maybe hadn't been a star. You seem to get better, and that is the name of the game. You get better or you get worse, and you play your best football in December. I told you your record last time, and phenomenal is phenomenal in the last 3 or 4 games of the year. So if I said to you, what's the secret sauce, Urban, what would you say?
I'd say my strength coach, Coach Mickey Maratti. He was with us in Florida. He's a guy that is my right-hand man, a guy that I've known for 20, 25 years. I entrust all our entire sports performance team reports to him. Every doctor, every trainer, every nutritionist, everybody that has a hand on a player. And we watch it very closely. We're into sports science. We have our players wear GPS. We won't let them go on the field unless they're hydrated. We check their hydration every day. I don't know if any other team does that. So we're probably, I don't know how many teams in the country can say, at the end of August, our starting lineup was the same as the middle of January. And that was other than our starting quarterback. And that's just because of the way we take care of our guys. And there's no soft tissue injuries because of how much we monitor and we put into the sports science of college football now.
Well, nobody represents that more than the guy that we all saw play so great, Zeke Elliott, the running back who ran for 1,878 yards, averaged 6.9 yards a carry, tough, physically tough, and also has good moves. A guy that just seemed like he got better and better. He would be a prime guy as an example of under the Urban Meyer program of how he flourished late in the season.
Yeah, he's a guy that he actually broke his wrist in training camp and played with a broken wrist the entire year. The best practice running back I've ever had, a guy that works. I made comments, and we all did, our other coaches, that he's as good as any player in America without the ball in his hand. People don't really see that because they don't showcase it on TV probably as much, but he's an incredible blocker, great effort player down the field, and obviously with the ball in his hand. The move he put on that safety against Oregon, our first touchdown, that was something that he worked every day in practice at. When he breaks through to the second level, he's a guy that would work 20, 25 yards downfield every time he touched the ball. So I love Zeke, and we're glad he's coming back. I can't think of a better back in the country.
And you're picked again to win it all, naturally, and you would be. Let's talk about your relationship at Ohio State. I've been up there. You're beloved there. People obviously love you. Think they feel about you like they felt about Spurrier and Columbia. Obviously, you built that program, brought it back into glory. The program's been through people forget a few tough times. I mean, I'll bring it up. You won't, but let's just say there've been a couple of really great coaches there who didn't leave in the best situation. And you brought that dignity back to the program and to make people understand Ohio State is a great program, but it represents more than just a bunch of football players. And so let's talk about first of all, your pride in what you've done there in helping restore to some degree the dignity to Ohio State football.
Well, we took over a situation that obviously was blown up by the media, and obviously there were some mistakes made, which, there's never been the perfect football program. Jim Tressel is a friend of mine, a great coach, and still loved by Ohio State fans. And, one of the first things I did is make sure he knows he's always welcome at Ohio State. We still talk, and he's just been inducted to the Hall of Fame in Ohio State. So Ohio State, from Woody Hayes to Earl Bruce to John Cooper to Jim Tressel, very appreciative of those guys. And I made sure our staff did nothing other than, say positive things about the previous situation. Ohio State lost 7 games in the year before we got there, first time in, I think, since 1800s, they said. And so everybody would try to have us take a shot at the previous coaching staff. We refused to do that. And I don't believe in that. I will not let our coaches do that, and I certainly won't do that. And so the fans, obviously, Jim Tressel did a phenomenal job for them. So it's great to see him inducted to the Hall of Fame, and it certainly should be.
Let's talk about your relationship with the Gator Nation. You have a lot of people here who are big fans of yours. Some people can't get it in their brain exactly why you left. I happen to be one of the people who knows about it because I was with you and in your home, and I know you don't have to waste time thinking about that kind of stuff, but it seems like there's a different relationship between Ohio State and its coaches than there is between Florida and its coaches. Am I wrong about that?
I don't live there. I have great relationship with my friends and people. You're one of them, and obviously Jeremy Foley and some other great friends that I've had down there, and continue to have. Billy Donovan, and many more people that I've known forever. Shelley, we still kept a place out at Melrose, the Lake Santa Fe, and so we love Florida. And every once in a while, you hear a comment, well, people are upset. I don't hear about that. My wife does, and my children do, which is I'm not quite. We weren't perfect. We did. I loved it when we were there. I still love Florida. We'll always keep very good friends. Tim Walton, the job he did on the softball program, and we cheer for him all the time. So if it's a one-sided relationship, I don't imagine that it will last forever, because we love Florida. We always have. We always will.
Well, you have a lot of good friends, a lot of good fans, a lot of people who wish you were still here, by the way. But that's Ohio State's gain and Florida's loss. One quick comment: you got a new book coming out. It's going to be a different kind of book. This is going to be about business, right? Yeah. Well, they were asked a little bit like when we wrote ours. I got asked by a lot of people to write a book, and obviously we did one together, and I loved it. You're with us for a year and a half, and saw the inner workings of our program. This is a pure leadership style book. Life lessons called Above the Line, and that's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm anxious to get it out. It's supposed to come out sometime in the fall. Look forward to reading it. Always great to talk to you. We follow the Buckeyes. Try to watch them every weekend. Good luck all the way this year. And you and Steve, you get out there on the golf course. You don't play too much, but his game is off now. It's a good time to get to him in his pocket because he's not playing well. Yeah, I'm trying to talk him to come up and play Muirfield, but I love Coach Spurrier, and I have great respect for everything he's done. He's a fan of yours. Thanks, Urban. Appreciate your time very much. Take care, man. Coming up next, our man Terry talks NFL right here on Southern Pigskin Tonight.
More with Buddy Martin and Southern Pigskin Tonight on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network next.
The next drink is on Dave Del Rio at Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill. Just ask him for it. But don't wait. Show up soon, because this offer isn't going to last very long. Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill will be filling up fast because their friends from the north are headed back that way soon. The good news is that seating is now available, and Dave's buying the first drink. If you've been hearing about the crowd at Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill and couldn't get in, now you can see firsthand what your friends have been talking about. Great food. Try Chef Dave's tantalizing Floresiana menu. Great location. Check out those gorgeous sunsets over Lake Weir. Great people. Starting with Chef Dave Del Rio, who began his career in 1978. This spicy guy has been instrumental in opening over 100 restaurants. And he's buying you a drink. Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill, where there's little or no waiting these days. Come see what started out as Jay Eaton's dream almost 90 years ago. It's more awesome than ever. Do you experience body aches, joint, or muscle pain all over your body? Does it keep you up at night, interfere with your day, and leave you feeling tired and in pain? You could be suffering from fibromyalgia. Renstar Medical Research in Ocala is conducting a research study of investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 18 and 75 who have had widespread body pain or tenderness for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication at no cost. Compensation for time and travel will be provided, and insurance is not necessary to participate. If you experience body aches or suffer from fibromyalgia and would like to find out more information about this fibromyalgia study, please call Renstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's Renstar Medical Research, 352-629-5800. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, in everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
Guy Harvey Checking is now exclusively available at Gateway Bank. With Guy Harvey Checking, you will receive Gateway's premium checking account plus several other Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation features, including membership to the Guy Harvey Hammerhead Nation, free Guy Harvey t-shirt, and an exclusive Guy Harvey debit card. At Gateway Bank, we will make a $50 donation to the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation for every new account opened. This is just one more reason why people choose Gateway Bank. Sign up today for your exclusive Guy Harvey Checking account with Gateway. Details available at gatewaybankcfl.com, member FDIC.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Now back to more Southern Pigskin Tonight with your host, Buddy Martin.
Time now for America's favorite broadcaster, our good friend. Here's Terry. Do that good, don't I? Don't I do that good?
That's so funny.
I practice in the shower all day.
How you doing there, buddy boy?
Terry, I know you don't study, as they say, in the off season. You read to keep up, but you do follow. There's a guy up in Minnesota. You always said was as good as he gets, and he's got a quarterback, and now he's got his running back. North Turner's got his guns loaded again. Adrian Peterson is going to be a Viking, and Teddy Bridgewater has a lot of promise as a quarterback. It could be on the upswing in Minnesota, Terry.
Well, Bridgewater was the Rookie of the Year. I didn't like him coming out of Louisville. I didn't like him at all. I didn't like him at all. There's nothing about Teddy Bridgewater that made me want to turn the television set on and watch it. He's not that big a guy, and so I think they need a running game. And North Turner, for all our listeners, go back to Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith in Dallas, and you get an idea of just how efficient North Turner's offense is when he's got all those three parts. And drafting wide receivers and tight end, and now he's got his running back, who obviously is committed to playing for the Vikings. Got that feeling sorry for myself off. You know what? I got a kick out of Adrian Peterson. I want to remind Adrian, they did pay you $14 million to sit your ass out last year.
Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't hurt.
Yeah, yeah, he wasn't hurt. It's not like they took your money away. So I was disappointed in him. But now he's going to give it a great effort in Minnesota. So I've lost a little respect for Adrian Peterson.
But you'd have to think they're kind of one of the dark horses.
He is a great running back.
Oh, he's a great running back. No doubt about that. He definitely is that. Okay, well, speaking of coaches and speaking of people, there hadn't been a guy this controversial in a while. Chip Kelly in Philadelphia made a lot of news in the offseason by trading some players. One former player suggested it might have been racially motivated in some fashion. That caused some reaction in Philadelphia. And yet Kelly seems to keep going. Despite all this, he seems like he traded Nick Foles, and he's got Sam Bradford, he's got Tim Tebow. He's doing everything different. And you just don't know. I mean, some people say this guy's nuts. Some people say this guy's a genius. He's got what they call a culture of dignity on how he cuts players. He says you have a responsibility to have a player come in for an exit interview with Kelly, the offensive, defensive coordinator, and position coach, and he gives them an interview and tells them that the reason they're being cut. So there's good and there's bad. His offense is obviously more like college. I don't know if it's going to pay off or not, but he's certainly doing it differently. Terry, assess Chip Kelly as of this moment.
Well, I'm of the opinion that it's Chip Kelly's way or it's the highway. For whatever reason, I think if you talk to any great coach, he's got great players. Those great players are treated differently just because they produced. Some of the moves he made, Foles, for instance, I found that to be the guy was 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the year that he came in and took over the offense. Struggled a little bit last year, which you would have expected. Then got hurt. I was shocked by that. And then to pick up Sam Bradford, who's been hurt and hasn't played hardly any football.
Yeah, he's got $13 million left on his contract too. Still.
I found that to be a very questionable move. To bring in Tim Tebow, oh my God, here we go with the media circus again. Let's just wait and see. But I disagree with a lot of his moves. He knows that he can do whatever he wants to in Philadelphia. He's got total control. But if it doesn't work, he'll just go back to college making about $7 or $8 million a year. So what's the big deal with him? The racist thing is stupid and ridiculous. I don't buy that for sure. But Macklin, they couldn't re-sign Macklin. They lost him. They let what's the other receiver? They ended up going to Washington. They let him go.
Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. So, I mean, you keep depleting yourself of great talent, then you got to go out and you got to draft guys again. I'm not so sure he's got this thing figured out like a lot of people think. I think his offense came in and surprised some folks. But and he is fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But and he is an excellent football coach. But I do have some serious questions about some of his moves. But his football team, and like I said, knock a step out, Chip.
Yeah. Terry, final question on this subject, probably for the year. We know about Deflategate and all the stuff that all the fallout from it. I got amused and really, I thought it was really interesting what Shaquille O'Neal said about how he let air out of the basketballs all the time.
Right.
During the championship runs, he said if the ball was too hard, I let the air out. He said, I'd have a needle. A friend of mine would have a needle, and we'd get the game ball, and I needed an extra grip. I wasn't going to do that to cheating. I just needed to get an extra grip for my hands. What's the difference? It's the same thing, yet no big deal for Shaq, right?
Well, I don't know how he could say he didn't have a grip on the basketball.
Yeah, really.
The size of his hands.
Yeah, wow.
He could. But funny, when the Brady incident came out, I found it. I said this to you. I found it to be somewhat comical, especially when they put the right air in it and they went on and scored 28 unanswered points in the second half. And you know those footballs down at the Super Bowl were perfect, and he lit the scoreboard up. So to say that they cheated and won games that they shouldn't have won is wrong. And I even said, hey, I wish I'd have thought of it, because those balls are hard to throw, man. And the NFL, they don't listen to the players as much as they should. And we all complained about, you remember in the 70s when on Monday Night Football and the late afternoon games, they had the balls with the stripes on them?
Yes.
Those balls were harder to throw than the regular ball when you had a 1 o'clock game. And we complained, and all us quarterbacks said, man, you can't grip these things. And so finally they got rid of them because we complained enough. And I think you need to be cut some leniency here. Just because the bladder says it'll hold 13 pounds, if a quarterback lacks it at 10, put it at 10. What's the problem?
Yes.
You want to perform, and where does it say that you have to have it at 12 to 13?
Exactly.
And if I liked it at 10.5, let me have it at 10.5. I'm the one that's got to go out there and throw it. It's not. You still got to read the coverages, and you still got to execute. And let's not forget, Brady wears a glove. Manning wears gloves. Guys going into the Hall of Fame, that Kurt Warner wore gloves. And those gloves give you. Ben Roethlisberger wears gloves. Everybody wears gloves. And those gloves have that tacky grip on them, man. And you can make great catches, which we saw Odell Beckham did on Monday night for the Giants. He would have never made that catch without those tacky gloves. Man, those things are amazing. So I don't have a problem with air being out of a football. I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you.
No.
And I just think it's stupid. I found it, as I said initially, kind of comical.
Yeah, and you said so.
They made an issue. Man, they made an issue.
They did.
Of it.
But they did because
issue.
And the reason they did it was because, number one, they'd had these issues with Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson, and the commissioner felt like it was,
right.
And then you got that, and you got all the other pressure for the NFL to do something about it, and then there's Belichick, and his record he's been known to be somewhat of a cheater, and they had to do something, but they overreacted. I think is what you're saying.
Well, this commissioner has always overreacted, in my opinion, on a lot of issues. I'm not so sure that he is as popular with these owners as we are being led to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets relieved of his duties.
Whoa, TB.
Honest to God, buddy. I don't understand. You're a leader and you're smart. You're a smart guy. You lead. You don't follow everything. It seems like every crisis we have, there's a reaction from the NFL instead of a precedent being set down for it. It's a reaction. And then it's an overreaction. And then a civil lawsuit. If you take civil issues, you better have great evidence to prove someone guilty. Guys are guilty and then punished and then the appeal process. And I don't understand, I know in regular life, I guess I should say, I think there's a lot of people out there that say, wait a minute, man, don't take this from me until you prove me wrong.
Thanks very much, Terry Bradshaw. Coming up next, time to talk College World Series again, plus look at the controversial U.S. Open golf course, and Terry opens up his mailbag on Southern Pigskin tonight.
With more Southern Pigskin tonight in a moment on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant.
Are you one of those golfers that use the .coms to try to find the best deal available every day of the week? Well, why use a middleman? For $100, you can be a summer member at Pine Oaks of Ocala. And what do you get with your Pine Oaks membership? Well, you get to play all the golf that you want in the afternoons, and all you do is pay the cart fee. $8 for 9 holes or $12 for 18 holes. This is the golf deal of the summer. Don't miss it. That's the $100 summer membership at Pine Oaks of Ocala. Hello, I'm Tom Schmitz, here to tell you about Ocus, a great resource for any business and a proud partner of the CEP. Ocus offers your business radically new technology called Next Generation Websites. Sites that do not wear out, they automatically adapt to new technology like smartphones, tablets, and the next big thing. Why pay for technology that starts becoming obsolete the moment you buy it? With Ocus, there is so much more. Built into the Ocus platform is an unmatched array of business solutions adaptable to any business. Ocus is a superb example that cutting-edge technology can grow and prosper in Marion County. And I should know because they handle my website, ktforfun.com. Ocus has assisted numerous companies in Marion County that have succeeded online. You can learn more by visiting them online at ocus.com. That's OCOOS.com, or drop by their downtown Ocala location at 116 South Magnolia Avenue. Find out how Ocus can provide your business with everything you need to succeed online.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Now back to more Southern Pigskin Tonight with your host, Buddy Martin.
Okay, I give up. Florida crushes Miami in their first meeting at the College World Series in Omaha, 15-3. Up next for the Gators was Virginia. And genius here, that would be me, says the one thing Florida won't be worried about was its bats. Except for one thing. The Gators were shut out by Virginia. But ask what I thought about what might happen in Omaha in the next meeting between the Gators and the Hurricanes. I said, I'm not going to predict any more hit parades for the Florida Gators. And what happens? Florida's bats explode for 4 home runs, eliminating Miami 10-2. And who they play next? Virginia, of course. And I'm not going to pick it. Tom, I'm not touching that one.
Well, buddy, I'll touch it. Virginia and Florida. Florida's got to beat the Cavaliers twice to reach the finals. I talked to a couple people in the know about this Florida team and the Virginia team. They said that the Virginia game against Florida was an aberration, that Florida's bats will rebound, and I think they beat Virginia twice to get into the College World Series finals.
All right, that prediction is on you, Tom, by the way. I think they will play much better, obviously, this time out and maybe 2 times out, which means they would get to the finals. We'll predict this, though. We're seeing some weird scores coming out of this place called University Place in Washington, where they're playing an 8-year-old course for the U.S. Open Championship. As Ron Cyrak of Golf World Golf Digest tells us, the only thing constant about the Chambers Bay course is change. And plenty of it.
One of the things that this course can do, depending on the hole locations, there can be multiple ways to get to the pin, to get to the hole location. You know, you may be landing your ball 60 feet in the back right corner to get to a front left pin because of the way the holes funnel and feed. Holes are never going to play different yardages from day to day, but there'll be different angles of attack to the fairway, and that's going to be making the players have to totally rethink. This is a different hole than what I played yesterday, and I think we'll hear some complaining about that. You know, it's like a link-style golf course with American-style greens, in the sense that the greens are have false fronts, have multiple tiers, and there's really going to be so many different options for the players on how to get to the hole locations.
One of the things about this golf course, first of all, it's just 8 years old, so it's obviously new. A lot of people don't know it. The other thing I've heard, it changes by the hour almost, certainly by the morning and afternoon rounds. The morning rounds are damp, and the afternoon rounds are dry, and the way the golf course looks, it's really drying out. What do you expect when you tee off tomorrow?
Mike Davis says they've got the course exactly where they want it. It's firm, it's fast, it's brown. And he says that the trick now is to keep it here and not lose it, not let it get over the top. One of the things that's going to be interesting this week is we don't have any rain in the forecast, but there's going to be about a club and a half wind, and it's going to be coming from different directions on different days. So that's going to change the way the golf holes play. The way it starts, you know, we start at about 52 degrees in the morning and go to about the mid-70s by afternoon. So it starts out a little bit chilly. My guess is Mike Davis is going to, for the Thursday, for the first round, I think he's going to err on the side of caution and make it a gettable golf course. And then he'll see. He'll gather the information from that day. He'll see what holes played fair, what was tougher, and then he'll tighten it up. I think he'll err on the side of caution tomorrow, and then after some numbers are posted, he'll get his confidence, have data to go in, and then figure out how to make it more difficult.
You've been out there, you've seen the golf course. Just how much trouble is out there on this U.S. Open course?
if you get in trouble here, the main thing you got to do, you get in trouble, get the ball back in the fairway. Don't try to advance it. There's a lot of trouble. The fairways are generous; they're very wide. But if you get off the fairway, you're not going to be able to play golf from over there. This is an old limestone course, and they've left a lot of elements of that here. There's a freight train that runs through the golf course about 60 times a day. So that runs along by the 16th and 17th hole, and they're not going to stop that train. It's going to come through here.
Thanks to Ron Cyrack at University Place, Washington. Time now for a taste of Terry Bradshaw as he once again opens up his mailbag. Don't forget, you can reach him at heyterrybradshaw@gmail.com. All right, Terry, we hear about you going to Asia. This comes from Richard. Right. Richard in Fernandina Beach says, what's this about you going to Asia with William Shatner and Henry Winkler to do a reality show on NBC?
Right. It's a six show deal. And we have since George Foreman's on board now.
Oh.
So it's 4 guys. There's a movie on As Good As It Gets, and this is kind of along the same line where kind of like our last ride.
Yep.
We're going to just go through Asia, trying to figure out how to get through Asia.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be filming some stuff tomorrow. Hey, Tammy, what's the name of that show? Better Late Than Never.
Better Late Than Never. Perfect.
And just four old guys going to Asia that never been there, and we're just going to try to make our way around it without knowing anything about anything. Well, could be funny. Could be a disaster.
You like Asian food?
I do. I do like Asian food. I am not real crazy about stuff that's in cloudy water, but
yes,
I do like. I think a lot of people, when they think of Asian food, I think it's sushi. I think of sushi. It's
Japanese, whatever. Yeah. And by the way, Terry, when they bow to you over there, it's not for the same reason that Tom bows to you before the show. It's a different thing. Okay, just so you know.
I know they bow to you over there, and what is that? A greeting?
Yes, that's a greeting.
Respect.
Greeting and respect.
A greeting, yeah.
So I suggest you get your back and your knee working right, so you do a lot of bowing over there.
I had this knee operated on because we're going to be walking over 6 cities and 4 countries, and so
So we'll actually be able to talk to you on a couple occasions while you're over there. Got to figure out the time.
We'll call in once a week. I'm going to learn some
phrases.
I'm going to learn some stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm actually probably cuss you people out in all 4 languages.
Well, just be careful up there on the Great Wall. Don't fall, okay? Take your crutch with you just in case. All right.
I will.
All right.
I will.
All right, TB. It's time to sing us out. You ready to sing? Me.
Am I ready to sing our hit song?
Yes.
The one that I wrote?
That one or Gene Autry's, either one, whichever one you like.
Okay.
Happy
All
trails.
Right, I can do that. Me. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep writing those letters and send them in.
It's time for us to say goodnight.
Buddy, don't forget, now you can reach us on Twitter at SPigskinTonight.
What's
That's
that?
SPigskin, the number 2, N-I-T-E.
Yeah, that's not how you spell night. Anyway. I want to thank our guests, Urban Meyer, John Adams, and Ron Cyrack. On behalf of the guys from 3 and Out, my broadcast partners Terry Bradshaw and Tom Schmitz, I'm Buddy Martin, wondering, now that the basketball and hockey seasons are over, can we please start some football now? #down here.
This has been a production of Southern Pigskin Tonight in association with Buddy Martin Media, produced from the studios of WOCA Ocala. This has been Southern Pigskin Tonight with your host, Buddy Martin, on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
When you were a kid, you had all sorts of toys. Toy cars, boats, trucks, entire toy boxes full of fun. Of course, you never really outgrow your toys, do you? It's just that now, instead of a box full, you have a garage full. Cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, and more. As you get older, your love of toys just gets stronger. So protect those toys the best way possible by switching to Allstate. An Allstate agent can help do the switching, paperwork, bundle all your policies together, and even find you a bunch of discounts. So if you love your toys, make sure you protect your toys by making one call to an Allstate agent.
Protect all your toys with Allstate and the McDonald Agency. Established in 1985, we have offices in Ocala and the Villages to better serve you. Give us a call at 622-2333. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Are you in good hands?
Are you in the process of planning your wedding reception? Or are you planning that birthday party for someone special? Or maybe you're just looking to throw a party for yourself. Are you in charge of this year's company outing and looking for something fresh and fun to do? Well, KT Entertainment is your answer to all those questions. We provide music, trivia, and karaoke for everybody's enjoyment. If you would like to get in touch with KT Entertainment and find out about our competitive prices, call us at 352-512-2611. That's 352-512-2611. Or you can find us on the web at kt4fun.com. That's KT, the number 4, fun.com. So remember, whether it's a wedding reception, a party, or a company outing, it's KT Entertainment for all your karaoke, trivia, or musical needs.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, the new old-fashioned bank. Let us introduce you to Ocus, a simple way to bring your business online. Through this relationship, your business can have a fully functioning website in less than 30 minutes. We will also provide you support with social media, sales tracking, e-commerce, and online scheduling, which is all optimized for mobile users. Ocus, now at Gateway Bank, Silver Springs Boulevard, Ocala. Come visit our technology center for your total small business solution. I'm Tom Ingram, and I'll see you there.
The Coke Zero 400. It's where American pride meets NASCAR history. This year, you can catch a glimpse of NASCAR history yet to come with the all-new seats and all-new views of Daytona Rising. And be sure to stick around for one of the Southeast's largest fireworks shows after the race. Kids 12 and under are $10 for the Coke Zero 400, powered by Coca-Cola. Sunday night, July 5th. New seats are selling fast. Guarantee yours now at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Want to learn more about your furnace or air conditioner? Tune in this Saturday for free tips and expert advice on how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning system. Or get a free AC rejuvenation by being the first person to go to cleanmyac.com. That's cleanmyac.com. Saturday, free tips and expert advice on how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning system. Or get a free AC rejuvenation by being the first person to go to cleanmyac.com. That's cleanmyac.com.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. Bond's been set at $1 million with the South Carolina church killer.
Dylan Roof began his day in the Charleston County Jail and confessed to shooting his gun over and over inside Emmanuel AME Church Wednesday night, killing 9 people inside gathered for Bible study. And now he's charged with 9 murders and will stay in that jail cell through October when his first appearance hearing will be held.
Fox News Radio's Evan Brown. In Milwaukee, police are hunting for a gunman who opened fire on them this morning.
The shooting happened on Milwaukee's troubled northwest side when detectives from neighboring Wauwatosa confronted a burglary suspect in a car in an apartment complex.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso. One detective received non-life-threatening wounds. The prosecution is rested in the Colorado movie theater massacre case. They concluded their argument that suspect James Holmes methodically planned and executed the killings. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Geico is available 24/7. Unlike Billy, my boyfriend, who is apparently available 24/never. And with Geico's claim status update, after I report a claim, I receive update alerts through my Geico app. Did you hear that, Billy? Update. Alerts. I sure would like to be updated on why you can't return a text. Maybe I should just be dating Geico.
Claim status updates, just a few taps away on the Geico app.
At Choice Hotels, we know business trips start with a choice. Stay or go. You can press send or press palms. Start a chat room or chat in an actual room. Just remember, opportunities won't come to you. You got to get out there to get things done.
Should I stay or should I go?
ChoiceHotels.com makes it fast and easy to find a range of Choice Hotels like Comfort Inn and Suites. So stay with us for business and book now at ChoiceHotels.com. You always have a choice.
On Mondays, AM Ocala Live, Bern Pareso will be in the studio. She is, of course, our medical reporter. She's coming in to talk to us about health providers right here in our community.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then Dr. Tamara Rozon is coming on talking to us about a survey that discusses the rapid change and expansion of the healthcare system.
Reverend Keiko Hoshino will be on the air. He'll be speaking about the new book called Miraculous Ways to Conquer Cancer, written by Ryuho Okawa.
And then Matt Gibbs will be here from Sunrise Automotive answering your questions about your cars on auto repair with personal care.
Patricia Skalka is a staff writer at Reader's Digest. She's written a new book called Death at Gills Rock.
And then pharmacist and nutritionist James Laval will be on. He wants to talk to us about some research that indicates that it's not physical inactivity that's making us get fat, it's sugar and carbohydrates. All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
If you've been hearing about the crowded Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill and were worried because you couldn't get in, I've got some good news for you. Seating is now available. While you're there, look up Chef Dave Del Rio. He'll buy you a drink. Now is the time for you to finally see firsthand what your friends are talking about at Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill. Try Chef Dave's tantalizing Louisiana menu. Check out those gorgeous Lakeware sunsets. Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill on beautiful Lakeware. Seating now available.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
Your source for the #1 sports weekends. Fox Sports. Only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
He's America's consumer warrior, teaching you to save more, spend less, and avoid getting ripped off. He's Clark Howard.
glad you're with us on the Clark Howard Show, where it's all about you learning ways to keep more of what you make. Follow me at facebook.com/Clark Howard. Our web address, clarkhoward.com. Coming up in just 20 minutes, there's a hot scam operating around the country where you get a call saying you have to pay money right now or else you may be going to the big house. I'm going to tell you how the scam works, how to spot that somebody's just trying to cheat you. And a half hour from now, are millionaires really different from you and me? I'll tell you, there are key characteristics that have led to people ending up wealthy that you and I can both learn from. That's just a half hour from right now. I want to talk about something that I have had more questions over the years than I can shake a stick at. You have a friend or family member, you need to send them money for whatever reason, and historically that's meant big costs. You'd have to go somewhere and send a wire, go to one of those storefront places, send money for a big fee. But today, it is turbo easy for you to send money to someone for free. And many of these are now working from the United States to overseas if you have friends or family overseas. But mainly it's about here in the United States. One that I've talked about on the show that is zooming in popularity is Venmo. I have a daughter who uses Venmo that she and friends will be at a restaurant having a meal together or whatever. One of them pays the bill, and then they Venmo money to that person to pay their portion of it. And completely free, takes like nothing to get it done. Very, very easy. And again, you pay nothing. Venmo's been so successful that now others are allowing you to do so as well. Square, which has the thing for merchants where merchants pay a big percent to accept credit cards and stuff. They have something, I've mentioned it before on the show, Square Cash, where you can pay someone else money and send it essentially instantly. Google, with its Google Pay, now offers a platform to send money free. And Facebook, trying to enhance the value of Messenger, is now offering the ability to send money for free. And those are just examples of the platforms that are available to send money from one person to another for nothing. So instead of you paying big money to send money from one place to another, you need to know you don't have to spend anything to send money from one place to another, one person to another. As for businesses, I'm ever hopeful that the platforms are coming along that will break the Visa MasterCard cartel that erodes the profits so much of small business people in the country with their massive fees for you taking credit cards as payment, that offering particularly people that are younger who've gotten used to using these alternate platforms, that there's going to be, knock on wood, cheaper ways for people to pay you in the future. Our number is 877-87-CLARK. Uh-oh, I'm going to butcher your name. Is it Getlin?
You got it right.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
So, Getlin, have you ever met another Getlin?
No, I have not.
And how did your mom come up with such an unusual, interesting name?
I have no idea. I've been asking her my entire life, and she gives me a different story every time, so I have to give everybody else a different story every time.
All right. Well, how can I serve you?
I drive a 2003 Toyota Corolla. She has 178,000 miles on her right now.
Okay, I love the way you've completely personalized your Toyota. Have you named her also? Does she have a nickname?
Yes, she does.
What's your Corolla's nickname?
Choco.
Say what?
Choco. It's a combination of chocolate and cocoa.
Choco. Okay. Yes. All right, that's pretty clever. So Choco is starting to choke on you, I gather.
Yes, she is. It's going to cost me roughly $4,000 to get some engine work done. And prior to this, my boyfriend's been doing all the work, but the work that it's requiring now, we don't have a garage or anything for him to work on the part. So he told me to just take it to Toyota and see what they would say and get an estimate, and then we would go from there. Well, the estimate was about $4,000. Him and my parents seem to think that I should just buy a new car. But my rationale is it's a Toyota Corolla. These are good cars, and they're made to last, and I feel like if I just put the $4,000 in her, that she'll give me another 5 to 6 years.
All right, I can't promise 5 to 6. So let's talk through the process I would go through. First, do you know how much, if you went on Edmunds or Kelley Blue Book or NADA, how much do they say your 03 Corolla is worth?
About $4,000 to $5,000.
All right. The Consumer Report says that their math supports you repairing the vehicle. That when the value of the vehicle is equal to or exceeds the cost of a repair, it's worth doing the repair. The reason they would say that is that your Corolla with a blown engine or whatever, that its value is a whole lot less than the market value right now. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like getting it for parts, trading it in for parts. If you fix it, you have a chance that you will be able to drive it for a substantial period of time. But even if you got a year out of it, you would have a vehicle that would hopefully be in good working order that you could sell for the then market value, and you would have gotten another year out of driving it for those $4,000. Now,
here's the thing. I'm still driving her.
Oh, so it's still working.
She is still working, and that's why I feel like I could put the money into her and get my money's worth out of it.
Okay. All right. Then let's talk about a couple other possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'll tell you that I have never gone along with Consumer Reports on dollar for dollar. Just as a side, I've always said, when the cost of the repair exceeds 50% of the remaining value, that's when you should consider doing what you've heard from other people, which is just ditch it. But I've got a couple of other homework steps you should do.
Okay.
With a popular Japanese brand like Toyota, with one of the real popular European brands, there are independent repair shops that only do that particular brand.
Uh-huh.
That's all they fix, but they're independents, and they live not by people who come in because it's like a Toyota dealership, but they come to this independent shop because of reputation.
Uh-huh.
And so what I would suggest is go on a site like Yelp.com
uh-huh.
and see in your area what people are saying about independent Toyota shops. So you just put in a search Toyota repair, and it'll show you which independent shops people have written a lot of reviews about and who they might love. Okay. And you go to a doctor if you were really sick, you want to go to second opinion, mm-hmm. you should drive Choco to an independent Toyota repair facility and get their estimate and recommendation for repair. And the independent shops will probably tell you, I would keep this or not. If you get an opinion like that from a dealer, remember what business they're in.
Right.
They want to sell you another vehicle. You go to an independent shop, they make their money repairing vehicles. So you may get a different opinion that would be worth having. And okay. if you get a sense from talking to, because at the independent shops, you usually get to talk to the actual mechanic who would be doing the work on your vehicle where you don't at a dealer, mm-hmm. you'd be able to get a real feel from the overall health of Choco and try to make a decision if it's time to junk her or keep her on the road. And you're right, with the 178,000 miles, that's still like middle age for a Corolla.
Right.
And so you have a good chance that it would be a good decision to repair and keep this car on the road for a number of years, because you're still driving at such a low cost, even having paid for the repairs. Compare that to what you pay for a brand new vehicle. Our number is 877-87-CLARK. Beverly's with us on the Clark Howard Show. Hi, Beverly.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Beverly, you have a question for me about retirement.
Yes, my husband is 55, and he was planning on retiring maybe this year. We went to an investment financial advisor, and he's...
Okay, I can predict the future. I bet any amount of money, if you went to see a financial advisor at a time your husband's considering retiring, the financial advisor, no matter what the question is, came back to the answer being some form of annuity.
Yes, an indexed annuity.
Boy, make a hard one for me here, Beverly. See, the annuities have massive, gigantic, humongous commissions. So the salespeople absolutely love selling them. An annuity is all about you helping the insurance person's retirement, not your husband's.
So even if we did it through an IRA,
you don't want to do. Okay, let me. Gosh, thank you for saying what you just said, because an IRA is already a sheltered account.
Mm-hmm.
An annuity is an insurance version of a sheltered account with massive fees that you pay every year in order to get a shelter from tax. So if you're already in an IRA, you don't want to then pay the massive fees to have an insurance product inside an IRA.
So we could just roll his 401k into an IRA?
You can, but I need to ask you, is that the right thing to do anyway?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, so if your husband's 401k is with one of the low-cost providers, typically the biggest low-cost providers of 401ks are Vanguard and Fidelity Investments. Is his 401k with either of those?
You know, I don't know what his...
All right, well, that's something you should check on, Beverly, after we've talked.
I think it's with ING.
Okay, ING, that's an insurance company, and that would not be a low-cost kind of 401k like you'd have with someone like Fidelity or with Vanguard. Gosh, you're giving me a tough puzzle here. Does your husband have a pension with the employer he's been working for?
Yes, he does.
All right. So what percent of his income in retirement is likely to be covered monthly by that pension?
I'm guessing, because he works a lot of overtime, I'm guessing, I'd say half of it.
Okay, half of your living expense would be covered by the pension.
Mm-hmm, maybe a little over.
All right. So what else are you planning to live on if he's retiring at 55?
Well, we were trying to do it with my income.
Oh, great. So his income and your income equals 100% of what?
Yes. But
okay.
It will just get us, almost, barely by. And that's what the financial advisor, we couldn't figure out why he was pushing us so hard to do this.
But I'll tell you why. Because bringing the loop back full circle, because that person wants you to pay for his retirement, not yours.
Well, see, he even sent us an email and we think it was concocted, because he sent us an email that says this is what Clark Howard says about indexed annuities.
Really? Really? Okay, so I'm being misquoted about index annuities as something you should have. Beverly, what you should do at this point, you don't have the need for the protection that the agent sells about downside with the annuity, because what they tell you is that they're wonderful because you don't have the downside risk, but you get money on the upside. And that is such a small part of the whole story. The real story you and your husband should get is sitting down with a financial planner that you pay him or her for advice instead of somebody who earns commissions from selling you a junky annuity. You're listening to The Clark Howard Show.
What would an extra $250 a month mean to you? For some, it's a little financial breathing room. For others, it's a car payment, a home repair, or help with college tuition. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I've got some great news if you're looking to save money on your mortgage. All it takes is a simple phone call to Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. Folks who refinance with HARP can save an average of $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year. Our home loan experts fully understand the HARP guidelines, and they'll walk you through our streamlined process. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And this year, for the first time, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
Let's do some simple math. Say you get the Discover It card and you earn $100 in cash back. Now multiply it by 2. What do you have? Well, $200 cash back. That's right. Now when you get the Discover It card, we'll automatically double all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. Plus, you can redeem any amount, anytime, and your rewards never expire. You might say your love for Discover will double. Just some of the many ways we treat you like you'd treat you. Apply now at discover.com/double. Exclusive offer for new card members. Limitations apply.
You bought 5 quarts of Valvoline conventional oil and a Napa Silver filter for just $19.99. So now's your time to shine, king of the cul-de-sac. Just don't drop the drain plug in the pan. Again. 5 quarts of Valvoline and a silver filter, just $19.99. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state local taxes or recycling fees at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 6/30/15.
Black Cow composted cow manure is a terrific organic soil amendment. We start with cow manure from dairy farms and then compost it a full 90 days. The result is an all-natural, dark, rich soil amendment that's great for everything you grow. Flowers, vegetables, shrubs, trees, and lawns too. Look for Black Cow in the bright yellow and black bag at your favorite nursery or garden center.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Who doesn't love heading out on the boat with a family, hitting the ATV trails with friends, or blazing new stretches of highway with riding buddies? Your toys are your ticket to outdoor fun. At the McDonald Allstate Agency, we get to know you and help make sure you have all the right coverages. Plus, when you bundle your coverage for your car and your home with your boat, motorcycle, RV, or more, you can save up to 30%. So call the McDonald Allstate Agency today at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations at Calla Hills or the Jasmine Square Plaza.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
R&D Tactical Solutions, Ocala's indoor gun range. 12 climate-controlled, state-of-the-art lanes. R&D Tactical Solutions, full retail store, everything from firearms to CCW classes. Located next to the Supervisor of Elections. Open 9 to 7 weekdays, 9 to 5 Saturdays, and 10 to 4 Sundays. Call 622-7468. R&D Tactical Solutions, Ocala's indoor gun range. Call 622-7468.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
WWWOCA,
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
I get so upset every time I get a call from someone who's been taken in a fast-growing scam of people impersonating government officials and law enforcement. I need to give you an updated warning to protect your wallet in today's Clark-rageous moment.
Scams, rip-offs, outrages. It's a Clark-rageous moment.
This has absolutely spread like wildfire from sea to shining sea, where you get a call from someone, and if you have caller ID on your cell phone, or even if you still have a home phone on it, the caller ID will pop up saying FBI, they'll have the local sheriff's department in it, could be the attorney general, could say IRS or Department of the Treasury or whatever, and a very official sounding person with great urgency and that very, very official kind of, you better do what we say right now or else kind of tone in their voices, will demand money from you immediately, saying that you owe money from a fine and you're about to go to jail, or you owe back taxes to the IRS. I've been crushed by the number of calls we've had from people who believed that the person was really calling from the IRS, reached out to me past too late and had already paid money to the crooks. Know that if you get a call from someone, I don't care what caller ID says, because caller ID can so easily be what's known as spoof today, where crooks can make caller ID say anything they want it to when they call you. Anytime anybody claims to be from the government, from law enforcement, from the IRS, and says you got to pay right now, you hang up that phone, do not engage the crooks in conversation. And the reality is, you can't just buy off one of these government officials and somehow the problem goes away. They're just lying to steal your money. You're listening to The Clark Howard Show.
I'm Lester Holt with NBC Nightly News.
And I'm Chuck Todd with Meet the Press.
We know you can't always watch on our schedule,
so that's why we are always available on yours.
With video on demand, you can watch NBC Nightly News
and Meet the Press
any day of the week,
any time of the day.
In-depth reporting on the day's top stories from NBC Nightly News.
And political conversations, insight, and analysis from Meet the Press.
Watch our latest broadcast anytime
with video on demand.
When the leading antihistamine and Nasacort go nose to nose, Nasacort wins, stopping more of the chemical responses that can cause your nasal allergy symptoms. And when you stop more causes, you get 24-hour relief from sneezing, an itchy runny nose, even congestion. It's prescription strength medicine available over the counter. Nasacort Allergy 24-hour. Stops more of what makes you miserable. Use as directed.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. Bond's been set at $1 million with a South Carolina church killer.
Dylan Roof began his day in the Charleston County Jail and confessed to shooting his gun over and over inside Emmanuel AME Church Wednesday night, killing 9 people inside gathered for Bible study. And now he's charged with 9 murders and will stay in that jail cell through October, when his first appearance hearing will be held.
Fox News Radio's Evan Brown. In Milwaukee, police are hunting for a gunman who opened fire on them this morning.
The shooting happened on Milwaukee's troubled northwest side when detectives from neighboring Wauwatosa confronted a burglary suspect in a car in an apartment complex.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso. One detective received non-life-threatening wounds. The prosecution is rested in the Colorado movie theater massacre case. They concluded their argument that suspect James Holmes methodically planned and executed the killings. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Geico is available 24/7. Unlike Billy, my boyfriend, who is apparently available 24/never. And with Geico's claim status update, after I report a claim, I receive update alerts through my Geico app. Did you hear that, Billy? Update. Alerts. I sure would like to be updated on why you can't return a text. Maybe I should just be dating Geico.
Claim status updates just a few taps away on the Geico app.
At Choice Hotels, we know business trips start with a choice. Stay or go. You can press send or press palms. Start a chat room or chat in an actual room. Just remember, opportunities won't come to you. You got to get out there to get things done.
Should I stay or should I go?
ChoiceHotels.com makes it fast and easy to find a range of Choice Hotels like Comfort Inn and Suites. So stay with us for business and book now at ChoiceHotels.com. You always have a choice.
A good start for a young double-duty driver. I'm Woody Kane. The story next on NASCAR Today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Duralast hand tools are made tough. So tough, they're guaranteed for life, which means no matter what you do to them, you know there's always a brand new replacement waiting at AutoZone, should you somehow manage to break one, which is pretty hard to do. Just ask Jim here, our Duralast hand tool durability tester.
That last one kind of scratched the wrench a little. I'll keep going.
This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of a guarantee with Duralast hand tools. Available only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hi, this is NASCAR Live's Eli Gold. For over 30 years, you've been asking questions to your favorite drivers every Tuesday night. Well, you don't have to wait for Tuesday any longer. Call Motor Racing Network's brand new fan hotline at 844-4ASK-MRN to leave a question or comment for your favorites.
The NFL plays regular season games at Wembley in London. So what are your thoughts about how NASCAR could expand internationally?
Be a part of the voice of NASCAR. Call 844-4ASK-MRN.
Eric Jones has done just about everything but win in the Camping World Truck Series this season, and today at Iowa Speedway, he stayed fast again in his Kyle Busch Motorsports Toyota, topping the speed charts in practice.
It's going to be a long race. It's going to be a lot about track position and staying up front, and it should be fun, though. It's going to move around a lot. The Xfinity race here, I guess a month ago now, kind of moved around up to the top, so it'll be interesting to see what the Truck Series does and see if we move up to the top or not, but we got a pretty good Tundra, and I'm pretty excited to get the race going and see what we can do.
Our live coverage of the American Ethanol 200 starts at 8 Eastern tonight. Tomorrow night, Jones heads for Chicagoland Speedway for the Owens Corning Atticat 300 in the Xfinity Series. We'll have that one, too, starting at 9 Eastern. I'm Woody Kane. This is NASCAR Today on the Motor Racing Network.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's OcalaForSale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Gene Powell pasture mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing service, we also offer fence row spraying. Now is the perfect time to get ahead on weed control for an overall aesthetic appearance. Gene Powell pasture mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell pasture mowing, 352-629-2440.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
Hi, I'm Fran Darkington. When I need news, I pass the rest and tune to the source. WOCA.
We are The Source. WOCA. News, talk, sports, and more.
Welcome to the Clark Howard Show, where it's all about you learning ways to save more and spend less. And don't let anybody ever rip you off. Follow me at facebook.com/Clark Howard. Our web address, clarkhoward.com. I have been so interested in what it is that allows people to accumulate financial security over time. Didn't call it wealth. What is it that makes the difference? Even if somebody's of modest income, there are people who end up very comfortable financially over time. But if you step into the category of people who are millionaires, who've crossed that threshold that is a comfort zone that so many of us would love to have, being worth $1 million or more, there are things that are so clear and consistent that we can all learn from people who become millionaires. And not every millionaire fits the profile, but I've talked in the past about the groundbreaking study that was done by the now deceased professor who did the book The Millionaire Next Door. But I want to draw you absolutely to current today. Because, by the way, $1 million today is substantially less buying power than $1 million was when The Millionaire Next Door was written a generation ago. But financial writer Paul Sullivan has dug in to see what are the things that are consistent. And one thing has not changed in a generation. The most common characteristics of someone who is worth $1 to $10 million. So he drew a specific group he was looking at. He wasn't looking for people that are mega millionaires, mega wealthy, people that are doing great. They drive older cars, not flashy, and they live in simpler homes. There's a man I knew who's passed away now who made a fortune. I mean, he was, tell the truth, he was a billionaire probably. And he lived in the same simple home that he'd raised his children in long ago. Never moved to any kind of fancy-dancy place. One thing that's really clear is that most people who are very, very careful with their money and made it to $1 million or more, they are insecure about money is a common theme. They worry that they know how hard it was to get there, and they want to be careful, and they don't worship money, but they want to make sure they have financial security. Consistently, people who end up financially secure do some very simple things. If they work for the man, they work for somebody else, they live on less than they make. Something we know intellectually we have trouble doing in our own lives. And people who end up being millionaires usually do it because they were careful with their money and they made their own money in their own business. And it didn't have to be that they hit some kind of Wall Street lottery or Silicon Valley lottery. It could be they just worked hard for a long time in a business. So know that the rules of the road to get there are pretty simple rules. It's the detours along that road that we decide to buy this or that or the other, or we splurge here, splurge there, splurge the other. If you have the target in mind, and again, it's not about worshiping money, it's about the freedom that the financial security provides you. Know that that's the target and stay focused on how to get there. And be careful with one-itis, and you got a much better chance of making it happen. Our number is 877-87-CLARK. Margot is with us on the Clark Howard Show. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. And you have some fallout you're dealing with from the economy having had a tough time. Fill me in on what's happened, if you could.
Oh, my brothers-in-law moved in with us. They'd hit some hard times in Los Angeles, and so they came to stay with us. When they first came, they helped around the house and the garden, things like that, and obviously looked for jobs. Well, now they've been working for about 3 months, and the help has stopped. I mean, they don't do anything at all.
Wait. Did I follow what you said? You were kind enough to bring your in-laws under your roof. You let them live with you for free. They helped around the house when they were looking for work. Now they've got jobs, and they are just living there like you're a hotel they don't have to pay for.
Exactly.
Okay, and these are your in-laws, so they're your husband's relatives, is that right?
His brothers, yes.
Both of his brothers?
Yes.
Wait. Both of his brothers moved in with you? They both lost jobs and they moved in, and now you're running a boarding house?
Basically.
So you give them a place to sleep, you feed them, and
no, I've stopped feeding them.
Oh, so we're only a bed. We're not a bed and breakfast.
Yeah, I had to start. I am disabled.
I'm sorry.
No, well, it's not your fault. But, so it's very painful. So
okay, so let's talk about your husband.
Okay,
so you did, and he did a very kind thing. People have done it all over America during this down cycle. They have made room in their homes for family and in some cases for friends till people get back on their feet. Both of your brothers-in-law are back on their feet working. It's time for you and your husband to sit them down in the living room.
My husband won't. He says he won't ask them for anything. He says they know what is right.
They obviously don't know what is right. Okay, so I think you need to have a heart-to-heart talk with your husband that this is making you miserable. Because I hear it in your voice. This is making you miserable, is it not?
Yes, it is affecting us financially.
Okay, affecting you financially, affecting you emotionally, and physically you have issues to deal with. It's just, it's a full meal deal that's no fun at all for you.
That's correct.
Okay, so any chance you could get your husband to talk to me? Is he there?
No, he's working.
Okay, so I think it's perfectly reasonable for you to put your foot down and say, here's the deal. We opened up our home. They've been here. They've now gotten reestablished. They always had a roof over their heads. It's time for your brothers to go get a place to live. That's a perfectly reasonable thing for you to ask as a wife. Because if they were still unemployed and it was running on at time, in this much time, people start to overstay their welcome even then. But they've got jobs.
Well, they hardly ever speak to us even to get a good morning and good night.
Wait. They're living in your home at the kindness of you and your husband, and they barely speak to you? They act like you're invisible?
Yeah.
Man, your husband needs to toughen up here. As the ball players say, he needs to man up here.
Well, he's no respect for whatsoever.
What do you mean he has no respect whatsoever? What do you mean?
But for them.
So it's time for the two of you to sit down with the brothers and say, we're so glad you're both back on your feet. You got to go find another place to live, period. He just needs to say it. If he doesn't, he's been kind to his brothers. He loves his brothers because they're his blood. But it's time for them to move on.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not sure he'd say it. If they'd contribute, they borrowed $1,000 off us.
So they borrowed money too?
Yes.
Well, so you treat that, I'll tell you what you do. When you lend money to relatives, it's a gift, and you ever get the money back, you're surprised. Yeah. You just got to treat it that way. But you don't want to charge them rent, because if you start saying, okay, you need to pay rent, then that's a green light that they can stay as long as they want. But it's making you miserable having them there. Even if they were paying rent, they got to go. If your husband is still not willing to talk to them, please have him call me, call into the show, let me talk to him, because this just isn't right for you to be miserable in the four walls of your own home, Marco. Our number's 877-87-CLARK. Derek is with us on the Clark Howard Show. Derek, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Derek, we're going from somebody having too little housing to having too much housing. What do you have that you wish you didn't?
Well, I actually have a couple of timeshares and two different ones. And recently I had a real estate company call me up and asked me if I was willing to sell one. I said, well, yeah, I guess I would, if they give me the right offer. And they offered it to me a really substantially lot more money than what I paid for it. But I'm not sure how I could check their credibility and how good they are.
Well, I can tell you that if you've received a solicitation and somebody claims to be a real estate outfit that will sell a timeshare for you and claims they're going to offer you a good price for it, that you are one step away from being scammed out of money.
Okay.
Because the timeshare market is completely broken. And there's no chance somebody out of the blue is going to come to you and offer you serious money for your timeshare. Have they asked you for any money?
They said they might have to ask me money down the road, but...
And that money, you hear your money just blowing to smithereens? That's exactly what would happen. Anybody who says, we're going to be your hero, we're going to get your timeshare sold, the timeshare market is completely decimated. The timeshare market is going to recover, I don't know, in 1,000 years. I mean, it's really, really in terrible shape. So do you like your 2 weeks of timeshare?
Well, it's points. It's a point system. Yeah.
That converts into a couple of weeks?
Yes.
Just use your points. Use them.
Okay.
'Cause that's the best thing to do. And anybody who says they're going to come along and pay you top dollar for your timeshare, I promise they're not telling the truth. You're listening to The Clark Howard Show.
Yuvia needed financing to grow her restaurant business, but her bank simply didn't understand.
I was frustrated.
Yuvia found On Deck Business Loans.
On Deck did it for me. I called on Saturday, and I had $50,000 in my account on Monday morning.
How about the terms?
Incredibly easy. It doesn't mess with your cash flow.
On Deck changed everything.
This company, On Deck, is going to be there for me.
Was it a good move?
I'm looking to increase sales probably 30%.
Been in business for at least a year with $100,000 plus in revenue? On Deck can get you $5,000 to $250,000 in as little as one business day, and they're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau.
On Deck has opened up so many doors for me now. Truly, the sky is the limit. I'm excited.
Apply now at OnDeckLending.com or call 800-516-8921. 800-516-8921. 800-516-8921.
Loan subject to lender approval.
I work for a Fortune 500 company. I've been exposing sensitive business documents for over 15 years. Some share vital information for money, others to expose wrongdoing. My reasons are different. Why do I do it? I need to print stuff, and sometimes I forget to pick it up. Is that so wrong?
Unattended documents can make your printer one of your company's greatest security risks. Learn how to gain control of document security at nuance.com/gaincontrol.
It'll be home to 942 bursts of laughter, a 16-pound blackened turkey dinner, and the loudest burp on record. It will see its fair share of broken windows, broken bones, and broken hearts. But first, you have to find it. Start your home search at Zillow.com or on our family of apps. You can view millions of photos, browse historical pricing data, and even sign up for alerts when new homes hit the market. Zillow. Find your way home.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Fidgeting can make it easier to lose weight. Many couples think that once they're married, all their issues with in-laws will disappear, but Steinort says a marriage magnifies these problems, so if you're having family clashes with potential in-laws, it's best to resolve those issues before you get married. Just like couples can take out a loan for a house or a new car, there's been a huge surge in loan companies catering to wannabe parents.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
There's a car accident in this country every 5 seconds. That's why Allstate thinks it's time for an entirely different kind of car insurance, with features like accident forgiveness and a safe driving bonus.
It's called Your Choice Auto, and it's only from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
You deserve better. Sign up for Your Choice Auto from Allstate. Call the McDonald Agency today at 622-2333.
Features are optional and subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Insurance, Northbrook, Illinois.
La Famiglia Pizzeria has moved into Ocala. Stop by today at 2504 Southeast 17th Street and see for yourself what everyone is talking about.
Awesome place. I never get pizza anywhere else.
Great New York-style pizza and dishes.
Best pizza in Ocala.
One trip and you'll agree, La Famiglia Pizzeria is the best. La Famiglia Pizzeria. Stop by for a pizza that you'll love or call in and order yours for pickup. 352-245-2419. La Famiglia Pizzeria.
Want to learn more about your furnace or air conditioner? Tune in this Saturday for free tips and expert advice on how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning system. Or get a free AC rejuvenation by being the first person to go to cleanmyac.com. That's cleanmyac.com. Saturday, free tips and expert advice how to get the most out of your heating and air conditioning system. Or get a free AC rejuvenation by being the first person to go to cleanmyac.com. That's cleanmyac.com.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us number one. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Our number is 877-87-CLARK. And hi, Nisi. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Nisi, you are interested in making sure your credit's okay. What's the scoop?
I've never been a homeowner, and I want to purchase a home, and I know there's a credit card on my credit report that's delinquent and it's been charged off, but I can't get up with the collection agency that they sent it to because they went out of business, and I don't know how to get that off my credit report. And I wanted to get the...
Oh! Okay. All right. Now, if that was quite a mouthful. So you had a credit card that was charged off.
Right.
It was assigned to a collection agency. The collection agency is now gone.
Right.
All right. Well, the way that plays out is if you get a copy of your credit report, and I'll tell you how to do that for free in a minute.
Okay.
You are able to challenge that item being placed on your report, and within 30 days, that collection agency item, if the collection agency no longer exists, the collection of it will disappear from your report.
Great.
Now, that does not mean the charge-off leaves your report.
Oh.
Because those are two different things, and in fact, it's where you get punished for the same thing twice, which in theory is not supposed to happen. But you have the credit card company that's reported you as a charge-off, and then you have a collection agency that's attempted to collect on the debt. So the collection agency listing it, if they've also listed on your report, that you can remove. As far as the situation with the credit card company, once you challenge that item being on your report, it will either be reaffirmed by the collection agency, meaning they still do exist, you just haven't been able to find them, and there will be a phone number that will come back on the report that you'll be sent after you've challenged it. And you'll be able to call them and try to work out some form of payment schedule or some amount of money to pay on it.
Okay.
And never agree to pay anything and give them any money till you have in writing from them that the payment of that money is a full settlement against the debt. And you never pay a cent. So you have that written thing from them on their letterhead that in return for payment of so-and-so, the debt is considered to be zeroed out. or whatever equivalent it would say. Tom is with us on the Clark Howard Show. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Clark.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Tom, what is it that has you so hot under the collar?
Our long-term care insurance, which we've been paying for the last 7 years, just went up 41%. Or they sent us a letter saying your premiums are going up.
And this is the story being repeated everywhere in America. And let me explain what's going on. You cannot be singled out for a premium increase on your long-term care insurance. They have to treat everybody in your risk pool the same, and all of you received the 41% letters. Other people I'm hearing from are getting 90% increases, believe it or not, 50%. Wow. What happened was when insurers decided years ago that this was going to be a lucrative market for them, selling long-term care insurance, they got the actuarial science wrong. And people are using the insurance for a lot more time, costing the insurers a lot more money than they expected. My mom, who is in assisted living, is on a long-term care insurance policy that she purchased must be 15, 20 years ago. I didn't even know she'd bought it. And she is costing the insurer a fortune every month in the benefits that they're having to provide her. And unfortunately for the insurer, my mother is physically as healthy as all get out. So she may live years and years and years and really soak them pretty hard at the insurance company. So because of this, the insurers are turning around, Tom, and they're eating you up. What I have recommended is a two-track strategy. One is if it means accepting a smaller benefit in order to be able to afford to keep the long-term care policy in place, go ahead and do that. On the other hand, during the time period before you have to elect what you're going to do, go shop yourself again for long-term care and see if another company will write you coverage equivalent to what you have at a lower premium than what you're now being offered. You're listening to the Clark Howard Show.
This weather brought to you by Kenny's Place Nursery. Beautiful people selling beautiful plants and flowers at beautiful prices. Give them a call, 352-867-1213 for Kenny's Place.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Fidgeting can make it easier to lose weight. Many couples think that once they're married, all their issues with in-laws will disappear, but Steinort says a marriage magnifies these problems, so if you're having family clashes with potential in-laws, it's best to resolve those issues before you get married. Just like couples can take out a loan for a house or a new car, there's been a huge surge in loan companies catering to wannabe parents.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
WWWWOCA
Your source for the #1 sports weekends. Fox Sports, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. President Obama says the South Carolina church killings are proof that racism is still alive in America.
The apparent motivations of the shooter remind us that racism remains a blight that we have to combat together.
The president was addressing the U.S. Conference of Mayors in San Francisco. A State Department report says worldwide terrorism's on the rise.
The State Department acknowledged that the number of terrorist attacks rose by 35% last year, that the number of fatalities from terrorist attacks surged by 81%, and that the seizure of territory in Syria and Iraq last year by the terrorist army known as ISIS was, quote, unprecedented.
Fox's James Rosen. Drama at Pro Golf's U.S. Open when player Jason Day suddenly collapsed in the final hole of today's second round.
Didn't notice much. It just kind of, I think, came out of nowhere.
Golfer Jordan Spieth, courtesy Fox Sports, says his playing partner Day has dealt with vertigo in the past. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Geico is available 24/7. Unlike Billy,
My boyfriend, who is apparently available 24/7. And with Geico's claim status update, after I report a claim, I receive update alerts through my Geico app. Did you hear that, Billy? Update. Alerts. I sure would like to be updated on why you can't return a text. Maybe I should just be dating Geico.
Claim status updates, just a few taps away on the Geico app.
At Choice Hotels, we know business trips start with a choice. Stay or go. You can press send or press palms. Start a chat room or chat in an actual room. Just remember, opportunities won't come to you. You got to get out there to get things done.
Should I stay or should I go?
ChoiceHotels.com makes it fast and easy to find a range of Choice Hotels like Comfort Inn and Suites. So stay with us for business and book now at ChoiceHotels.com. You always have a choice.
The Coke Zero 400. It's where American pride meets NASCAR history. This year, you can catch a glimpse of NASCAR history yet to come with the all-new seats and all-new views of Daytona Rising. And be sure to stick around for one of the Southeast's largest fireworks shows after the race. Kids 12 and under are $10 for the Coke Zero 400, powered by Coca-Cola. Sunday night, July 5th. New seats are selling fast. Guarantee yours now at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
What are the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking? Will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
your wallet and your future. Missing a minute can cost you big time. Prepare to save more, spend less, and avoid getting ripped off with Clark Howard.
Welcome to the Clark Howard Show. This show is your show. It's my goal to help you keep more of what you make. Follow me at facebook.com/Clark Howard. Our web address, clarkhoward.com, and that's core and key to right now. Because clarkhoward.com, or new and improved clarkhoward.com, is really meeting people's needs the best ever. I'm really proud of it. And there's something that carried over from the old clarkhoward.com to the new one because it's very popular. It's a message board called Clark Stinks. It's where if you feel like I could be doing a better job, you feel like something about my delivery you don't like on the air, you feel I'm giving bad advice, whatever, you go to Clark Stinks and you post it, and then others see your post, get to read it, comment on it. And then weekly, our executive producer, Krista, goes through your posts and shares highlights with you here on the air.
I should have never encouraged you to speak.
You must think I'm pretty stupid.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right, pal.
All right,
you got fun stuff today?
Yes, it's a special birthday week edition of the Clark Stinks. So here's some birthday presents for you from your biggest fans.
Thank you.
Dear Clark, while I understand your point about student loans, being someone who just graduated with about $28,000, I couldn't disagree with you more with your recent advice to a parent. You suggested to go to the small college first and then transfer to the big school because it's affordable. However, I graduated from the University of Georgia recently, and I'm 100% confident I would not have had the job and internship opportunities and at the pay levels I did had it not been for the fact that I was a student at UGA. I've been interning since the summer after my sophomore year with big companies such as Target and Amazon, and small colleges simply are not target schools for either one. UGA has presented me and continues to present me with more opportunities than I can imagine, and if I was from a small school, I know these wouldn't be options for me. While I chose to go with none of my job offers and continue my education at The Ohio State University in pursuit of a Master's of Human Resources Management, I can say I wouldn't have received the scholarship I did, once again, had it not been for UGA. And then they say at the end, I hope lots of parents and students read this post when considering how much they want to quote-unquote save. While yes, you will be taking out more loans when paying for a large university with the big name, however, education is a serious investment and it is wise to consider the long-term opportunities and gains. Go with the investment college with the big reputation. It is truly worth every dime.
I appreciate that post, and for you, obviously, going to a big four-year university paid off big time. And if you play, though, the odds, not a lot of people are going to get the A-lister kind of internships that you got starting in your sophomore year. And I really worry about people graduating with mountains of debt. Your $28,000 for 4 years is actually quite reasonable.
Clark mentioned that Vanguard was an industry leader in offering protections against losses due to unauthorized access. I panicked a little because I had just consolidated all my accounts with Fidelity. After a little rummaging, I was able to verify that Fidelity offers a comparable guarantee. It's simple. We will reimburse your Fidelity account for any losses due to unauthorized activity. Clark doesn't stink, but he sure put a scare into me, RJ.
RJ, I appreciate what you said because I didn't know Fidelity was doing that, but the company I actually mentioned was not Vanguard, it was Charles Schwab that is offering the blanket protection for customers. And now you add into that mix Fidelity, and I'm hoping that the market pressures will force all the big financial houses to offer essentially unconditional protections for your money from hackers or thieves.
I think you, your show, and your team are the greatest. There are just times I need to put a clothespin on my nose. In my opinion, you did not give...
I love that.
You did not give Freedom Pop a thorough test. Well, in using Freedom Pop, one update, and you are many gigabytes over your data plan. Sorry, Clark, you really stunk it up that time. Best regards, Charlie.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand.
They used the Freedom Pop once and got downloaded an update, and then their data plan was gone. That was it.
So he's saying Freedom Pop's a problem.
Right. You didn't investigate enough. That's the problem.
Well, actually, if you notice, I never really say anything good about Freedom Pop anymore because of the customer service issues they've had. Ironically enough, though, Freedom Pop has quite a customer base now. If you're not familiar with Freedom Pop, they are a company that provides free cell phone service, and then if you want, you can pay for additional things. And Freedom Pop just turned down a big offer, apparently from a suitor trying to buy them. I don't know what technology company was trying to buy them, because they believe they're going to be so big on their own. But on the customer service side, they're a pain. And so that's why I don't talk about them anymore.
Clark, you don't stink. You may be uninformed. A caller wanted a good rate on long-term savings for his emergency fund. I use Capital One 360, which pays 0.75% on short-term money market funds. This is much more than most CDs and FDIC insured. Funds may be transferred in and out by EFT. They also offer a checking account so that one may transfer funds to checking and write a check.
Now, we have talked about Capital One 360 many times on the show. I guess you just didn't hear me talk about them at that time. And they are one of the higher payers on savings available in the country. Right now, they're paying 0.75%. Is that what our poster said, 0.75?
Yeah.
There are others paying 1%, but the difference is not enough to make a change. The big thing is that the big banks pay 1/100th of 1%. So what Capital One 360 offers on its savings accounts is a vastly superior deal to generally what's available in the marketplace.
Just heard your advice about foreclosures, and you said banks don't want these houses. I've had qualified buyers offering over fair market value with extra money down and waited 3 months for a bank's decision, and the bank still chose to foreclose on these buyers. Relisted it 2 months later for less than those buyers offered. Also, my personal and many years working with the REOs, the banks will only typically negotiate a 5 to 7% price decrease off of list price. They reject or counter any other offers. Very rare or difficult to get 20% below list. A good realtor will know this and advise as such. Look for a reliable and knowledgeable realtor with the experience and time to educate these buyers is my advice. Also, for instance, with HUD foreclosures, they state specifically when an offer is made, they will accept the offer that nets them the most money in a multiple offer scenario.
You know, the banks have not done a good job even to this point in how they handle foreclosures. That's why many of the banks now are turning their foreclosures over to third-party experts that handle the upkeep of the properties, the marketing of them, and make the decision within certain parameters what price to take for the properties. It has been something that the banks did not seem to learning curve on. So I would say the poster is right that the bank foreclosure process remains, it's just an exercise in frustration, and there is no magic anymore to buying a foreclosure. And yes, I also agree with the poster that an experienced real estate agent is the most important person in seeing that you get the right house at the right price.
An Ask Clark was read asking how to access your credit score. Your answer was to get it from Credit Karma. This is a Clark Stinks for two reasons. One, you did not add that the credit scores on Credit Karma are FACO and not the real FICO scores. And two, many credit card companies are providing cardholders access to their real FICO score monthly via their billing statements as well as online for free. Since most people have at least 2 to 3 major credit cards, it is very likely that the majority of your listeners have access to their real score for free from at least one company.
That is a great post, and you are right that I don't do an adequate job explaining when I talk about Credit Karma that it is an approximation of your actual credit score, not your actual FICO score.
Corinthian loan forgiveness. Clark listed 2 options for who should be responsible for absorbing the cost of student loan defaults from for-profit degree mills: 1, taxpayers, and 2, students. What about option 3, the CEO, shareholders, and staff?
So it has been a modern tradition that the executives running corporations are not held to account for the decisions and actions they take in running a company. I would just be wasting my breath referring to holding a CEO criminally responsible or personally financially responsible. As for the corporate entities, they just bankrupt out. And that's why with the student loans, the more important thing is to come up with a new way of handling federal student loans when it involves a for-profit institution, and that is that the institution is responsible for the loans until and unless the student successfully completes and at that stage finds gainful employment in the course of study that they were taking, and at that point they become federally guaranteed student loans instead of ones that are private. So that way you eliminate the moral hazard that we have now and that we had with Corinthian.
I listen daily to your podcasts, and I'm a big fan. Today you made me cringe, then tear up when you spoke about beef prices. You were celebrating the coming decrease in beef prices. You called yourself a beefitarian, and then said vegetarians won't care. Oh, but we do care. It's about compassion, health, and the environment. Falling prices will order more cows to be factory farmed, thereby diverting land and water for cattle raising. More cows will be cruelly raised and slaughtered. Price drops and subsidies will keep people from shopping for plant-based alternatives. Please look into how beef will ultimately be a bad money idea.
Thank you for your post. You're not the first person who has been upset with me about my cavalier attitude about eating red meat. And so I appreciate your post, and I'm glad that you expressed that. I appreciate all your posts, and if there's something you've heard me say that you feel upset you feel was off base, you feel was wrong, just plain dumb on my part, go to clarkhoward.com, go to our message boards, go to Clark Stinks, and let me know. You're listening to The Clark Howard Show.
Introducing the new Preferred Rate Small Business Loan from Rapid Advance. It's proof that less is more. Less paperwork, less hassles, less runaround, and now less cost with our best rate ever, just 1.25% a month for 12 months. And that gives you more flexibility to get the money you need to take advantage of opportunities and more ways to grow your business. With Rapid Advance, the process is quick and easy, the guidance smart and honest, the rates clear and reasonable. And like Quicken Loans, we're a member of the Rock Ventures family of companies, so you know we'll be here when you need us. Call 1-800-895-2056 now to find out about our new Preferred Rate Loan and the other ways we have to help. That's 1-800-895-2056, 1-800-895-2056. Or visit rapidadvance.com, rapidadvance.com. Rapid Advance, a new way for small business to borrow.
Racing legend Richard Petty for Blue Emu.
Maintenance is important. To help me keep feeling my best, I use odor-free Blue Emu made with real emu oil. Blue Emu Continuous Pain Relief Spray has an active ingredient to relieve the aches and pains of my muscles and joints, and it's perfect for hard-to-reach places. Hey, even us precision machines need a little help sometimes. Use what I use, Blue Emu. It works fast, and you won't stink.
Blue Emu, available at Walmart, Walgreens, Rite Aid, and other fine stores.
I'm all about keeping it simple. Been getting the same haircut from the same guy for 20 years. You can't beat simple. That's why the first place I turn to when I need something is Grainger. I don't want one place for my safety products and another for my abrasives. Grainger has over 1.2 million products and the solutions I need to help keep this place running. Grainger. Simple. Simple. Grainger. Get it? Got it? Good. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then, I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Hi, Danny Werfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Our number is 877-87-CLARK. And Chuck is with us. Hello, Chuck.
Hello, Clark. How are you?
I'm having a wonderful day. Thank you.
Long-time listener. I hear every once in a while you're talking about scams that are out there.
Yes.
And I'll try to make a long story short here. We got a letter. My dad is 96 years old. He had a stroke 12 years ago. He lived in Florida. We brought him up to Illinois, and he's living in a veteran's home. And we get a letter from a claims recovery service. And it says that he's due about $600, and it's an insurance company that says Financial Incorporated KBA Demutualization. I had no idea what the heck that means.
I can tell you.
Okay.
There are insurance companies that their original form of ownership was as like a co-op or kind of like a credit union, where if you had an insurance policy with them, you were an owner of the insurance company automatically by having a policy. When they demutualize the insurance company, that would be kind of like a credit union going from being a credit union to a bank owned by stockholders. The insurance company went from being owned by its policyholders to being owned by the public. When they demutualize, there's a process that not always is fair, but there's a process where the people who own the company by virtue of having a policy are cashed out for the equivalent value of what that ownership stake is guessed to be worth.
Okay, well, where the red flags went up, the Recovery Service wants us to sign a limited power of attorney. They only take 15% when paid. But I'm kind of leery about doing a limited power of attorney to this company. Wow.
Chuck, you're worried about the wrong thing here.
Okay.
The wrong thing is to be worried about the limited power of attorney. The right thing to be worried about is paying 15% for something you don't have to pay a cent for.
Okay.
You can take care of your dad and get 100 cents on the dollar for him.
Okay.
And what you do is, your dad has lived in, sounds like, a number of states.
Well, just basically 2, Illinois and Florida.
Oh, all right. So this won't be that hard. Are you good on the internet?
Fairly good, yeah.
All right. I want you to go to a website called missingmoney.com.
Okay.
And put in your dad's name. And if he's 90-something,
96,
you may find other money that he's owed that he's kind of lost track of over the years.
Okay. And he said he never had a policy with this company. And
he may well have had a policy with a prior name company that ended up being purchased by this one. I mean, there are many different ways he could have ended up actually as legitimately an owner of an account there that he is owed money from. But I'm going to tell you, at this missingmoney.com site, completely free to use, is your dad's last name unusual or common?
It's fairly common.
That's the wrong answer. I want you to tell me unusual, because it's easier to find money you might be owed if your name's unusual. But when you go to the website, first do a search for your dad, last name only, and do each Illinois and Florida. Then go back and do last and first name and do Illinois and Florida. And let's see if you don't find that money for him in other money.
Okay.
When it involves insurance, also do a search in the state of Connecticut, even though your dad never lived in Connecticut, because so many insurers are based in the state of Connecticut. But the odds are very strong that you're going to find your dad at this site, find this money, and you're going to be able... Do you have a durable power of attorney?
Yes.
You're going to be able to provide durable power of attorney, and you're going to be able to get this money for him. And if everything I told you is a dead end, call me back, and let's see if I have any other suggestions for you to reunite your dad with this dough. You're listening to the Clark Howard.
I'm Lester Holt with NBC Nightly News.
And I'm Chuck Todd with Meet the Press.
We know you can't always watch on our schedule,
so that's why we are always available on yours.
With video on demand, you can watch NBC Nightly News
and Meet the Press
any day of the week,
any time of the day.
In-depth reporting on the day's top stories from NBC Nightly News
and political conversations, insight, and analysis from Meet the Press.
Watch our latest broadcast anytime
with video on demand.
The results are in. For the treatment of nasal allergy symptoms, nothing is more effective than Nasacort. Nasacort Allergy 24-Hour is prescription-strength medicine that's scent and alcohol-free with no harsh taste. It's non-addictive and provides 24-hour relief of the worst nasal allergy symptoms, including congestion, with no prescription needed. And in a recent clinical study with Nasacort going nose-to-nose with Flonase, more people prefer Nasacort. For more information, visit nasacort.com.
WOCA 1370 WOCA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. President Obama says the South Carolina church killings are proof that racism is still alive in America.
The apparent motivations of the shooter remind us that racism remains a blight that we have to combat together.
The president was addressing the U.S. Conference of Mayors in San Francisco. A State Department report says worldwide terrorism's on the rise.
The State Department acknowledged that the number of terrorist attacks rose by 35% last year, that the number of fatalities from terrorist attacks surged by 81%, and that the seizure of territory in Syria and Iraq last year by the terrorist army known as ISIS was, quote, unprecedented.
Fox's James Rosen drama at Pro Golf's U.S. Open when player Jason Day suddenly collapsed in the final hole of today's second round.
Didn't notice much. It just kind of, I think, came out of nowhere.
Golfer Jordan Spieth, courtesy Fox Sports, says his playing partner Day has dealt with vertigo in the past. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Geico is available 24/7. Unlike Billy, my boyfriend, who is apparently available 24/never. And with Geico's claim status update, after I report a claim, I receive update alerts through my Geico app. Did you hear that, Billy? Update. Alerts. I sure would like to be updated on why you can't return a text. Maybe I should just be dating Geico.
Claim status updates, just a few taps away on the Geico app.
At Choice Hotels, we know business trips start with a choice. Stay or go. You can press send or press palms. Start a chat room or chat in an actual room. Just remember, opportunities won't come to you. You got to get out there to get things done.
Should I stay or should I go?
ChoiceHotels.com makes it fast and easy to find a range of Choice Hotels like Comfort Inn and Suites. So stay with us for business and book now at ChoiceHotels.com. You always have a choice.
On Mondays, AM Ocala Live, Bern Pareso will be in the studio. She is, of course, our medical reporter. She's coming in to talk to us about health providers right here in our community.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then Dr. Tamara Rozon is coming on talking to us about a survey that discusses the rapid change and expansion of the healthcare system.
Reverend Keiko Hoshino will be on the air. He'll be speaking about the new book called Miraculous Ways to Conquer Cancer, written by Ryuho Okawa.
And then Matt Gibbs will be here from Sunrise Automotive answering your questions about your cars on auto repair with personal care.
Patricia Skalka is a staff writer at Reader's Digest. She's written a new book called Death at Gills Rock.
And then pharmacist and nutritionist James Laval will be on. He wants to talk to us about some research that indicates that it's not physical inactivity that's making us get fat, it's sugar and carbohydrates. All of that plus fun with Joe on the next day AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
If you've been hearing about the crowded Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill and were worried because you couldn't get in, I've got some good news for you. Seating is now available. While you're there, look up Chef Dave Del Rio. He'll buy you a drink. Now is the time for you to finally see firsthand what your friends are talking about at Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill. Try Chef Dave's tantalizing Louisiana menu. Check out those gorgeous Lake Weir sunsets. Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill on beautiful Lake Weir. Seating now available.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Black Cow composted cow manure is a terrific organic soil amendment. We start with cow manure from dairy farms and then compost it a full 90 days. The result is an all-natural, dark, rich soil amendment that's great for everything you grow. Flowers, vegetables, shrubs, trees, and lawns too. Look for Black Cow in the bright yellow and black bag at your favorite nursery or garden center.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow. WWWOCA, WWWWOCA.
your source for the #1 sports weekends. Fox Sports, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
Council.
I'm glad you're with us on the Clark Howard Show, where my mission is to help you keep more of what you make, and I'm about to deliver on that mission straight ahead. You can follow me at facebook.com/Clark Howard, on the web, clarkhoward.com. You ever heard of a group called Morningstar? They are the pointy-headed people who do fantastic analysis of investments, mutual funds, things like that, and they give so much great information about how to pick investments, things like that. But they just did a study that found that the average expense that investors are paying has dropped by a huge amount over the last 10 years. And roughly 30% lower cost, because when you buy a mutual fund or its cousin, an exchange-traded fund, ETF, you pay a management fee each year for the manager managing the fund. Well, those fees have been going down and down and down. But the fees you're paying are going down. The fees haven't been going down. How do I explain that riddle? Well, companies charge the fees they charge, and the fees that the typical company charges, those have not gone down. What's changed is you and I as consumers, as novice investors or better, we've been choosing lower cost choices. So the high cost choices have stayed up in the stratosphere that we may have used 5, 7, 10 years ago. But the low cost choices are getting more and more of the business. Think no further than Vanguard, which has become the behemoth of the investing world and now is the second largest financial house in the world. And how have they done it? By being a co-op that's owned by the people who invest with it. And Vanguard charges, on average, 0.14% to manage your money. 1/7 of 1%. It's not all uncommon for a lot of companies to charge you 1%, 1.5%, and people have learned over time. They've moved their money to the lower cost providers, of which Vanguard is pretty much the lowest cost. So today, it's really key in an era where the returns we're going to see over the next 10 to 15 years from stocks, bonds, mutual funds, index funds, exchange-traded funds are going to be lower than normal. Why? Because the markets are what they call in the Wall Street trade fully valued, meaning share prices are high. So for years to come, even as the economy grows, what each dollar you invest will earn will be less. So what you pay for the management of the things you invest in becomes central to what you'll earn over time. That's why this is so important for you to know, what's it costing me? And you know how hard it is to find? Generally very easy. You know, the website of whatever it is you're thinking of buying, you'll be able to see immediately, clicking on fees and expenses, what they're going to charge you. If it's not clear, when you go to their website, you know they're charging too much. Our number is 877-87-CLARK. Kim is with us on the Clark Howard Show. Hello, Kim.
Hi, Clark. How are you?
Great, thank you, Kim. But you've got a tough time right now. How come?
Right. My father recently passed away, and
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Trying to, go through all these, estate closures and life insurance policies. I'm just not really sure where to, how to help my mom out with where to fund these, or take these funds and place them,
All right. Well, first things first, your mom and you both would have to be reeling about the loss of her husband and, in your case, the loss of your dad. And one thing I strongly recommend, Kim, is to move slowly with what steps you take and moves you make with money following the loss of your dad, so that nothing rash is decided. Mm-hmm. And I know it seems crazy, but I think that money that she now has as a result of, tell me what kind of things, life insurance policies, or what kind of reasons?
Right. A few life insurance policies, and other like non-IRAs. Okay. So your mom is how old? 78. Oh, okay. And how will she pay her bills moving forward? Like, what expenses does she have? Does she have a pension? Does she have Social Security? What money will she live on month to month? Right. So she has a Social Security check, and then a loan that I have been paying her on. So she has about $3,500 of income coming in a month. And how much does she need to live on? $1,500. So she's throwing off excess cash even now? Yes. All right. That's important, because that means that ultimately the money that she has received from her late husband is money that she may not ever need to draw on if she's already 78. Correct. And so there are lots of things to think about, but this is not the time while she's still reeling and grieving. Right. And she has several, Clark, that she receives from, her required minimum distributions. Several of those she has to take out, in the beginning of the year and even in the middle of the year. So, and that's about for one account is $3,200. So money is not an issue. No, it's not. Almost having more money than she knows what to do with is the issue. Exactly. All right. So ultimately, would her goal be for children and grandchildren to have money at the time that she passes away? Or? Yes. All right. So I'm going to suggest that depending on your mom's emotional state, usually somewhere around 6 months out from your father's passing, is the time that would be best for her to sit down with a lawyer who specializes in wills, estates, and trusts. Okay, actually, we have already done that. We've consulted 4 lawyers, and we've actually chosen one already. Who does wills, estates, and trusts? Yes. Perfect. And with that, hand in hand, would go hiring a fee-only financial planner. Okay, they already have one that they've had for at least 10 years already. And are you sure this individual's fee-only? I'm not sure. All right, that I want you to find out. And what you find out, how is the individual compensated? And if they receive any commissions from any products that the individual might recommend, that's not who I want your mom talking to or consulting right now. Okay. A fee-only planner is somebody who you pay an hourly rate to, or a retainer, to provide unbiased advice, because they do not accept or receive commissions on anything they would advise. Okay. Anybody starts throwing around the word annuity around your mom, kick them into the next county or state. Okay. But I'm surprised how quickly you've moved as a family with picking a lawyer, doing wills, estates, and trusts, working hand in hand with a fee-only planner. I think you'll come up with a rock-solid plan for her future. And again, Kim, I'm sorry about the loss of your dad. Brian is with us on the Clark Howard Show. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Clark. How are you today?
Great, thank you. You're thinking about buying some land, huh?
Well, I'm combining 2 things you're always very, very excited about, and another thing that you're apparently a little cautious like I am about. So I figured I'd bounce it off of you.
All right, now that's quite a tease. Where are we going with this?
Well, actually, I love going on vacation, and just completed a trip back to Grand Cayman again. I hadn't been there in a while. Oh, I love Cayman. Yes, it is. It is wonderful. Hadn't been there in a long time. And, of course, they have the teaser magazines out in front, and I was surprised that in some regards rental property and vacation property down there can be affordable by mere mortals. So I was getting my little brain working, going, gee, should I consider at least doing that to give me some vacation time down there? And also, they have professional management companies that getting my feet wet overseas. Would it be something to consider doing that? And also, with the economic murky climate we have here, getting a toehold in a place like Grand Cayman, just in case. Would that be something to kind of consider?
You know, owning property in Grand Cayman, you looking at 7 Mile Beach?
Someplace along 7 Mile Beach.
Yeah, if you're looking at 7 Mile Beach, the real reason you would buy a place there is because you want to go there and enjoy it.
Right.
You gotta separate out the possibility that maybe at some point you might make money from it, because it's really hard in the Caribbean to make money on a vacation property.
Okay.
By the time, it's an extremely expensive market to do anything.
Right.
So the costs involved and the commissions that you pay on short-term rentals are such that you should expect to lose money on the property.
Okay.
Your long-term is what you can make versus what you pay today, and what I'm not familiar recently with the market along 7 Mile Beach to know if values are still depressed there, but the goal is long term. You buy today, and 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now you sell and make a profit, but in between, the purpose of owning it is for your enjoyment, not to try to make current income from it.
Okay.
Current income, you almost have to stay stateside. You got to look at properties in resort communities, Florida at the beach or near the beach, South Carolina coastal properties, places in Arizona and resort communities where I'm describing areas stateside where values are depressed, but the cost of doing business is so much lower over time operating it than it is in a place like Cayman. So that takes me full circle, Brian.
Okay.
So the key question for you, and you've got to answer it, I can't, and you've got to think about it and be honest with yourself, is the real purpose of buying something on 7 Mile Beach for your personal enjoyment, or is it with the anticipation that it will make you money?
Okay.
If it's personal enjoyment, go for it.
Alrighty.
If it's to make money, wouldn't do it.
With it being a safe financial harbor in the world too, looking at things going on in the States, putting that into the mix, is that getting a toehold out of the U.S.? Would that be something to kind of consider doing if you can figure out how to do it, or not really?
In my opinion, if things really go in the toilet in the United States, Grand Cayman is so influenced by economic activity in the United States, even though it has such a British feel about it and all that, it is really overwhelmingly affected by what happens in the United States. I don't know that Cayman is really a safe harbor if the United States were to go absolutely in an economic toilet.
Okay.
So I don't see that. And I know there are people who disagree with me about having property on a vacation island as a safe harbor from the U.S. But, I'm the wrong person to ask that question, Brian. You know why?
Why is that?
Because innately I am such an optimist that question is one that doesn't compute in my brain. But good luck with whatever decision you end up making. You're listening to The Clark Howard Show.
Vision Computers, in business over 22 years, they still answer their tech support phone in under 15 seconds. At Vision, you get a PC built for you to meet your specs. They even provide a 3-year warranty on parts and labor on all Vision-built laptops and desktops. Vision will also include 1 year of managed service monitoring the health of your computer and perform routine weekly maintenance. Check out the great prices and the great world-class support. 877-9VISION, visioncomputers.com.
The know-how.
Sure, your handshake might be stronger than a bench vise, but when oil and grease get on your paws, your grip becomes slipperier than a politician on a cable news channel. Good thing Scott Shop Towels are now only $1.99 a roll at Napa. They're strong, absorbent, and ready when you need them. And at just $1.99 for Scott Shop Towels, it's one deal you'll want to grab hold of. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 6/30/15.
Our Service Diesel Clean plus Cetane Boost is a complete injector cleaner and performance improver made just for diesels that cleans injectors, boosts cetane, and lubricates fuel injection components. To get the benefits of today's cleaner burning fuels, new technology is required. The Max HP formula of Diesel Clean restores lost power, smooths rough running engines, and improves fuel economy up to 8%. You can't get peak diesel performance from an additive made for both gas and diesel. Get Diesel Clean at auto and farm and ranch stores nationwide.
Know what's always on my mind, kid? Safety. I live, eat, and breathe safety. When I wake up in the morning, I have a large cup of safety with 2 sugars and a dash of safety. Safety matters. Your safety, my safety, everybody's safety. That's why I love Grainger. Grainger has the products, services, and resources to help keep our facility safe and our people safer. Now pass me one of those safety donuts over there. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Howdy, RL here for Dairy Queen. Spring is in the air, and so is the smell of meat cooking on our charbroil grill. You want to treat yourself to one of our most excellent grilled chicken sandwiches or wraps, or maybe a foot-long all-beef chili dog, and wash it down with an Orange Julius fruit smoothie with many real fruit flavors. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Ooh, ouch. Does pain have you glued to the couch? Yes, unfortunately it's true that every year we must get older, but that doesn't mean we have to deal with pain in our back, knees, or shoulder. If your muscles and joints are sore, don't worry anymore. Come get acupuncture from me and you'll be pain-free. Acupuncture starts as low as $35 at a Better You Healthcare. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at 615-5566. Stop your pain from driving you insane.
Who doesn't love heading out on the boat with a family, hitting the ATV trails with friends, or blazing new stretches of highway with riding buddies? Your toys are your ticket to outdoor fun. At the McDonald Allstate Agency, we get to know you and help make sure you have all the right coverages. Plus, when you bundle your coverage for your car and your home with your boat, motorcycle, RV, or more, you can save up to 30%. So call the McDonald Allstate Agency today at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations at Calla Hills or the Jasmine Square Plaza.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
R&D Tactical Solutions, Ocala's indoor gun range. 12 climate-controlled, state-of-the-art lanes. R&D Tactical Solutions, full retail store, everything from firearms to CCW classes. Located next to the Supervisor of Elections. Open 9 to 7 weekdays, 9 to 5 Saturdays, and 10 to 4 Sundays. Call 622-7468. R&D Tactical Solutions, Ocala's indoor gun range. Call 622-7468.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Fidgeting can make it easier to lose weight. Many couples think that once they're married, all their issues with in-laws will disappear, but Steinort says a marriage magnifies these problems, so if you're having family clashes with potential in-laws, it's best to resolve those issues before you get married. Just like couples can take out a loan for a house or a new car, there's been a huge surge in loan companies catering to wannabe parents.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Our number on the Clark Howard Show, 877-87-CLARK. Randy is with us on the Clark Howard Show. Hello, Randy.
Hi, Clark. How are you doing?
Great, thank you, Randy. How can I serve you?
Well, I have a daughter who is just accepted a job with a local school district as a school psychologist, and I had a question in regards to her retirement benefits. Not only does she have the pension, but she also has a choice between a 403B plan and a 457 plan. I'm actually rather familiar with 457 plans, but I wasn't sure exactly what the difference is and what might be...
Well, a 457 is what's known as a non-qualified plan, is usually how it's referred to. And if she is, let's say it's a two-income household, and your daughter doesn't need any of the money from her job to live on, many times with a 457, she can defer all her income into it and let it grow for the future, or any amount between 0 and 100%. It's only available to very limited categories of employees, people who work for certain nonprofits, or sometimes certain levels of government. She would be eligible for a 457.
Yeah, I think she has, she's in a single household. I believe that the annual limitation is $17,500 a year.
Oh, so the one that they are offering her has a limit, because it can be drawn different ways.
Right.
So that would be the same for the 403B.
Okay.
So the question is, which is better depends on who administers each.
Okay.
Because the features of them can be pretty similar. But the rules for either of these plans, they're both much more complicated than what you have at a traditional workplace that might offer a 401k.
Okay.
So do you know how many choices she has of insurance companies for her 403B at the new job?
Yeah, I think it's something like it's something like three or more. It might have been even as many as 5, and some of them are very familiar insurance companies, and then one is one that, in my mind, is associated with teachers.
Tia Kreff?
Exactly.
All right.